Morning, everybody. It's the Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. Well, we got a little bit of good news today. We are going to be able to take some calls today. So tell your friends and neighbors. I know for the last several days we've been void of telephone calls, which I think is, major part of what we do here at 97.5 The Fanatic, the lifeblood, sort of, where we communicate with fans out there. So we're going to be able to take it. And today is General Knowledge Wednesday. So that's the good news. So now let's get to better news here. In the sports world, with the Philadelphia Eagles, there is not one soul in America, well, at least here, that would think signing Saquon Barkley to an extension is a bad idea, right? You reward guys that play their heart out. You look at the character of a guy. You look at a guy that's always going to be a hard worker, and you put your dollars in that. And I don't care that he's going to be 31 at the end of this contract extension. At age 31, he's still going to be a pretty good player. So I laud the Philadelphia Eagles for rewarding one of their key players. I don't know that they had to, frankly. He's making $12.5 million, and so this now makes him the highest-paid running back in the league, which he deserves because he's the best running back in the league. But this is one of those deals where I go, they didn't really have to do this. They spent extra cap money on this situation, but it was worth it, okay? So I have absolutely no beefs at all with the Saquon Barkley extension. And we have a running back that we don't have to worry about for the next several years, like 5 years. It's a beautiful thing. But Bill Colarulo is here. Ray Dunn will join us in a little bit. Our man filling in today is, I don't know. I've had a checker pass with this guy.
Yeah, he's got
a gun.
He's got weird views,
He's with
man.
us today.
Listen, my team
on the
lost last night, so it's all right.
I don't know who your team is.
Yeah,
you're Nova, you're Temple, you're Notre Dame, you're everywhere. Next thing you're going to find out you're a Cowboys fan. I don't know where your allegiances lie.
Yeah, well, in any event, Bill, I know that, first of all, Bill's got a beef going, which is fantastic, and it relates to this whole situation. It's a beautiful thing, because we're going to compare this situation to the Terrell Owens non-extension, non-negotiation way back in the day in 2006 that blew the Eagles apart, frankly, and it was bad judgment by the front office. This is good judgment by the front office. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think this is good judgment by the front office to reward Saquon Barkley. See, I know you said earlier they didn't have to do this.
They didn't have to do it.
And you're right, they didn't have to do it because he's still under contract. But what makes a lot of sense is not only are you rewarding the guy, but it's all being estimated. There's no details yet about the cap hits, but it appears as if they're going to also save money against the cap this season by giving him the big bonus, by guaranteeing some money early and spreading money down now with a 2-year extension. You can lower his cap hits. So you've accomplished a lot. You've rewarded a guy who literally had, as Howie Roseman said, the best season by an offensive player in NFL history. Hard to argue with that when you look at the numbers. So you rewarded him. You also now get him for that extra 2 seasons because the original deal was 3 years. And if you remember, that third year, people were saying, well, maybe the Eagles can move on from him in that third year if things don't work out. Well, now you guarantee he's here for at least another 2 years on top of it, which is great. But more importantly, you lower his cap hit this season, which allows you to maybe keep a Zach Bond, maybe a Mekhi Becton. So I like it.
That's fair. But here's the difference in the organizations now that Howie Roseman is there. Howie likes to spread goodwill. Now, maybe behind the scenes, he's the other sly. He's saving a couple dollars here, a couple dollars there. But he does believe in goodwill and having players be happy. In the old regime, when we're talking about the Joe Banner regime, things were completely different. They were a lot more cutthroat. Banner had these hard and fast rules. He ruled with an iron fist. If you turn 30, I got no use for you. Once you're under contract, we try to get you in early to get a bargain on the contract. Once we know it's a bargain and you don't realize it's a bargain, we don't care. You suffer in silence. And if you don't suffer in silence, we get rid of you. Deuce Staley's an example. John Welborn was an example. These guys that squawked about wanting a new deal out the gate. And that was the difference. Now, you happen to have some kind of beef going on with Joe Banner. And I believe that yesterday he responded to you because you brought up the Terrell Owens situation as a comparison to the Saquon Barkley thing. Explain.
Yeah, it was interesting. So I tweeted last night that if only Howie Roseman was in charge of the Philadelphia Eagles in 2005, that they would have, quote-unquote, rewarded Terrell Owens for his season where he outperformed his contract. Then you wouldn't have had the beef with Donovan McNabb. T.O. wouldn't have been doing sit-ups in his driveway back in 05. And who knows what the next couple of seasons could have been with Andy Reid as the head coach and Donovan and T.O. being this magical duo on offense. Ironically, about 45 minutes after I did that tweet, Joe Banner doesn't quote tweet me. He doesn't respond to me, but he just ironically writes, "The Eagles today added years and moved a small percentage of new money into the existing years. They also increased guarantees. All good and smart. But T.O. was looking for a new deal at considerably higher numbers 1 year in. This idea was tried then. 21 years later, no team has still done what he wanted for anyone." So he just found the need to explain himself.
Here's where they were wrong, and here's where Joe Banner really blew that whole thing back then. Because here's the overall premise, and I remember talking about this every day. The premise was that you had acquired an insane player, and you expected him to act sane. The bottom line is he came here with a bad contract thinking he had a 7-year contract. He was not savvy enough to realize that they structured the contract where they could get out of it 2 years into it, which the Eagles thought they could do because he started to be a pain in the ass.
Yes, but you also had a season where he comes here. He plays in 14 games in the regular season because he breaks his ankle with Roy Williams doing the horse collar tackle. He has 77 catches, 1,200 yards, and 14 touchdowns in 14 games. So it was like, look, I've outperformed this deal. And then he decides, against all medical advice,
to play in
the Super Bowl. And he performs well in the Super Bowl.
Right, and he signs a waiver.
He signs a waiver. So he expected, I know T.O. was crazy, but he expected them to reward him. They don't. So Drew Rosenhaus, that's the whole next question press conference on his driveway over in Moorestown.
Well, he has fired his other agent who sent him down this road, not revealing to his own client that really this is not a guaranteed 7-year contract. They could get out of it really easy after 2 years after paying you nothing. Frankly, he was like the 26th highest paid wide receiver in the league. So the Eagles blew that, and which is what my point is about Goodwill. Yeah, maybe you acquired a contract. You knew that was a bad contract. And instead of spreading some goodwill, making an insane guy happy, you did just the opposite. You poked the insanity in him. And it blew up the whole team.
It blew up the whole team. And then when Banner says nobody has ever done what Terrell Owens wanted, he ends up signing a 3-year extension after they release him with the Dallas Cowboys. And in Dallas, he has 3 straight seasons, 1,180 yards, 1,350 yards, and then another over 1,000-yard season and had over 10 touchdowns each one. So I think the Eagles messed that up. I think it was Joe Banner. It's just funny coming on the heels of you saying that I had a beef with Joe Banner yesterday, and now we're going at it.
Yeah, and the memes are coming out that apparently you tried to sneak a cheesesteak in and Joe didn't like it, or they had you sweeping the floors and Joe Banner ignoring you. All these memes are coming out. So we're still trying to get to the bottom of this Banner-Colarulo feud that started way back when it was just a little Bill making no money, working for free for the Eagles.
Well, it was close to free. Not as free as you used to work for, if you know what I'm saying.
It turned out that I was working for free. And didn't
but
know
it was close.
All right, so here's the deal. Today is General Knowledge Wednesday, and you can actually get into the show. We have this system that's trying to get around our problem. So it's a temporary system, and we're in the middle of getting the entire system replaced. But we have a temporary solution, at least for today and subsequent days, where we can take some calls and we get to you one at a time. So it's General Knowledge Wednesday. So in perfect timing for being able to take calls, 610-632-0975. Ray Dunn will be back in like 15 minutes as he got a plane and just landed. So he'll be here shortly. Brendan Gunn is filling in until then. And as we go into the break, there are a couple things I'm concerned about, Bill, that have nothing to do with what we're talking about with Saquon. One is a Philly issue. The other is a Sixer issue. I want you to think long and hard during the break on what could possibly be bothering me right now about the Phillies and what happened yesterday in that game and what happened in the Sixer game last night.
I think I know what the Sixers one is. I got to think about the Phillies one. Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll take a guess on the other side.
Obscure things. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. You can text us if you don't feel like calling us today. But General Knowledge is going to be this today. We've altered it. It's going to be the audience versus Ray versus Bill.
Oh, I can't wait.
Whoever accumulates the most points is the winner today.
Oh, Ray's going down. He's going to be all jet lagged
up
and everything.
against Ray, which is like the ultimate grudge match.
I'm looking
Since
forward
you guys
to it.
have problems with one another. It's the Mike Missanelli Show right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
97.5 The Fanatic.
Boy, how times have changed now. Where you actually invest your time in the players being happy on your team, right? Think about the regimes of the Eagles when Lurie took over, and he had Banner, and Banner was the strong man. Like, he wasn't afraid to be hated. He didn't care really. He was going to run it like he was going to run it like an insecure guy that never played football. Really, that's the way he ran it. He ran it like, yeah. All you tough athletes, I got the power, and you're going to take what I give, and you're going to like it. That's the way he ran it.
Which sometimes worked. Look, sometimes you have to take feelings out of the equation.
Not anymore. Not anymore, Bill.
Yes and no. Like, you look at what they're doing with Darius Slay. You're moving on from him because financially it makes sense to move on from a 34-year-old corner. Maybe they bring him back. Maybe. But I think that would have been one where you could look at it and say, oh, well, he means so much to this team. He's a leader on this team. We need to do everything possible to keep him. And they made the decision we're going to release him.
But you don't really. Listen, it is what it is with Darius Slay. He's a 34-year-old corner. So that's like that's a sense of everybody in who's an Eagle fan. The percentage of people who lament the fact that they're doing this to Darius Slay is really minuscule, don't you think? They understand what's up here.
Well, they do now. I mean, when I proposed it a couple of weeks ago, I had a ton of people come at me about how ungrateful we are and all that stuff because, oh, he just won a Super Bowl. How dare you even suggest something like that? And it's like, well, you got to look at the numbers. It's called show business. It's not show friend.
There should be hard and fast rules. Like if you're a legendary player like Brian Dawkins, you don't get that treatment. If you're a guy like Slay, you've contributed for several years. You've done a nice job, but you're not Brian Dawkins territory. So you're still, you succumb to the business part of this. Now, that being said, they haven't said that they wouldn't re-sign him for a year.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible, but releasing him saves money on the cap this year and next. So we'll see what happens.
But you have to admit that the climate has changed where players can really dictate unhappiness and spread that cancer throughout the team. T.O. did it way back when in 2006. But like Myles Garrett is doing it now, and he's a good player, and he's by all accounts a good soul. But you got to keep these guys happy before the fungus spreads.
Agreed, but when we're looking at it with the Saquon Barkley contract extension, no matter what, I don't think he would have been a cancer. Right?
No,
he's not that type of guy.
Barkley is a completely different situation. Like you rewarded him. You had a financial reason to do it, but it was part of your goodwill because this guy has absolutely no questions about him that he's going to be loyal to you.
Yes.
None. So that's the type of guy you don't have to really go out on a limb to reward. It's always going to be a safe play if you do that.
Yeah, it makes sense. And even after the Super Bowl, when they released the mic'd up, when NFL Network released the mic'd up, you had Howie, you had Nick, you even had Jalen Hurts, all kind of deliver the same message to Saquon. Like, this is you, man. Like, you were the missing piece. You changed this team, both on the field and off of it. So it's a great move, but you do have to be careful. I'm all for what they did with Saquon because of the fact that it's being reported it lowers the cap hit. But you do have to be careful giving contracts that reward for past performance. You give a contract for future performance.
I get it, but he's still a hardy enough player at this point. You don't have to worry about past performance. All right, so we're going to get to the two things that concern me about results in yesterday's Phillies game and yesterday's Sixers game.
I definitely have the Sixers.
I don't think you do.
This would go right up your alley.
You think?
Yeah.
All right. It's the Mike Missanelli Show right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Saquon is here to stay. I'm Brendan Gunn with your Fanatic Sports Update. Yesterday, the Eagles agreed to a 2-year contract extension with running back Saquon Barkley. The 2-year, $41.2 million extension locks Saquon up in Philly through the 2028 season, and it makes him the highest running back paid all time, and the first ever to get $20 million on average per season. Oh, and it's a team-friendly deal as well. It lowers his cap hit next season from $13 million to around $6 million. Barrett Brooks from NBC Sports Philadelphia joined the best show ever yesterday and said, if you're worried about the Offensive Player of the Year breaking down next season, well, think again.
I'm talking about a guy that really takes care of himself, so I'm not worried about injuries at this point. The only thing that can happen is that he gets better. You know, you look at the situation. This team is really based on him being successful, so I'm sure he's going to do whatever it takes to make sure that he's going to be available.
The Sixers fell to the Minnesota Timberwolves last night by a score of 126-112. They continue on their road trip tomorrow night in Boston to take on the Celtics. You can catch that game live tomorrow night right here on The Fanatic. And the Flyers, they also fell last night by a score of 6-3 to the Calgary Flames. In the return of Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost, Frost netted 2 assists and his return to Philadelphia in a Flames uniform, unfortunately, in the loss for the Flyers last night. This update was brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio at checkout to get an extra 5% off. I'm Brendan Gunn on the home of the 76ers and the Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Ricky Batalico.
All right, it's 10:26, Mike Missanelli Show. We're going to get into a salary comparison because one of the Eagles looks like he's a little disgruntled thanks to the Saquon Barkley deal. We'll get you that in a second. But earlier I alluded to the fact that there were two things that concerned me about last night's results. One in the Sixer game, one in the Phillies game. Bill thinks he has the Sixers thing. Bill, what Sixer thing am I concerned about?
I am almost going to guarantee that this is what you're concerned about because I know how your brain works now. You're concerned that the Sixers are going to overpay to keep Quentin Grimes because of the 2 games that he had with 44 and now 30.
Let's play the song.
Is that right?
Let's play the song, BG. Hit it. Here we go. Yes.
I knew it.
Grimes. Rocket Bill. Kill the Meme by Grimes.
The name of the band is Grimes.
Turn it up. Yeah. Elon's Baby Maker.
Yeah.
Right here. Yes. All right, you can bring it down. Yes, Quinn Grimes.
Roll out the bags of money, baby.
Here's my bigger concern. I don't know what the Sixers are going to do. They probably will get carried away with this whole thing. Again, this plays right into my feelings about what I call temps.
Yes, that's why I knew you were going to do this.
Guy has a couple of good games, you overreact. I mean, oh, my God, Quinn Grimes, they found a gem. We've got our shooting guard now. Meanwhile, Max is a shooting guard, basically, so he's not really a point guard, but I get it. Quentin Grimes. Don't get carried away. Or as Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend.
So
don't overreact.
I actually tweeted last night saying, is Quentin Grimes the next Travis Fulgham? Because you remember the Travis Fulgham. There was a 3-game stretch where it was like, oh, my God.
Yes.
The Eagles found the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah. Not that anybody gives a crap about what the Sixers are doing anymore. I get it. But Quentin Grimes last night had a big night as they go down. The boys go down. They fought hard. They had Paul George back in the lineup, and boy, did he turn out last night, didn't he? That rest really benefited Paul George last night. No,
dude, he is terrible.
3 for 11, 1 for 6, 7 points. He was a plus though.
Only 2 turnovers. That's a positive.
He was a +7.
Yeah,
come on, Paul, show up.
I got to say though, and I know your position on the temps, and there's a reason Quentin Grimes now is, what is it, 5 teams in 4 years? Or is it 4 teams in 5 years? Whatever it is. The kid does look good, though, Mike. I mean, his ability to create and score.
Dude, let me explain something. Let me explain something to you.
He looks like he can play.
About the NBA. First of all, your eye is crooked when it comes to looking at NBA players think they can play, right? We've established that.
Yeah, because I liked Caleb Martin.
Caleb Martin, you thought he was Magic Johnson, for crying out loud. So let me explain something to you. When you put 5 guys on the floor that are going to play close to 40 minutes apiece, somebody's got to score because the ball's always going to be in their hands. So last night, the 2 guys that scored were who? Grimes and who?
Was it Oubre last night?
Kelly Oubre.
Yeah.
They combined for 37 shots. Somebody's got to score. Let's not get carried away with how good he looks.
I agree with you 100%. Somebody has to score. However, when you're looking at the other player that you were referring to, Paul George, he has 3 30-point games all season. Quentin Grimes has 3 in 11 games with the Sixers.
Quentin Grimes is at least trying to play hard. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, slow down. Slow down. Or other organizations have had this guy, and they were willing to give him away for nothing.
And I understand that, and that's why I say, is he the next Travis Fulgham? But when you say your eyes deceive you, when you're watching the game, and I get people have to score, the guy does have an ability to create. I mean, the way he's able to get to the basket and finish is pretty impressive, man. It's been impressive.
How come he didn't impress the other teams he was with? How come?
Well, that's why I think you may be looking at Travis Fulgham.
Okay, you know what he also was last night? -14.
Yeah, he can't play defense. He can't.
I'm just saying. All right, now let's move on to the Phillies.
Now, this one I'm not sure. Let me see if I could take a guess. So it's something that happened in yesterday's game.
Something that happened in yesterday's game that was pretty much touted as a positive. And for me, I go, huh? Positive? What could it be?
I'm going to take a guess. It's probably not right. I'm going to say Garrett Stubbs getting the RBI hit.
No.
You're concerned they're going to keep him over Marching.
No, had something to do with their pitching staff. What was a positive that I interpret as a negative?
Suarez coming out of the pen?
You're in the right church. That's not that he came out of the pen. What were the numbers on Ranger Suarez yesterday? Well, first of all, what was the positive?
Well, he pitches 2 scoreless innings, strikes out 2.
Yes.
Only gives up 1 hit.
Swept under the carpet was the major fact for me.
Was his velocity down?
Yes.
Is that what you're worried about?
89. His velocity was 89.
So
Well, last year his velocity dipped to 91. It was even lower than 91. Now, I'm thinking to myself, people go, oh, it's early in spring training. In spring training, aren't you supposed to be really strong? You go through your off-season workouts, you come in. It's when you wear down your velocity. Hey, you show up strong, and the velocity goes down as you have wear and tear.
I think
89 out of the chute.
I think he's taken the Joel Embiid ramp-up approach. He's just ramping up.
Seriously, when you read that, see, this is where I go beneath the surface here. 2 scoreless innings. Ranger threw. I look at the headline. Ranger, and I look. He was 80. He was what? 89 miles an hour. What? You can't get anybody out throwing 89.
Yeah. It is a concern, especially with the way last season went. And I'm looking now; it was down 2.6 miles per hour from last spring's average,
which was way down. Did you remember the days when he's pitching? He hit 94, 95.
But that was early. Yeah. So when he was
the season, he was hitting 94, 95 early in the season.
Yeah. So and in spring training last year, he was 2.6 miles per hour higher on average than what you saw yesterday.
When you show up for spring training, you usually have zip. Because you're strong, you haven't thrown a lot to wear down, and boom, that's what happens.
It's a valid concern, man. It's a valid concern. But the good news is if Suarez has a season like he did last year where he comes out strong and then hits that wall, is Andrew Painter's waiting in the wings.
Yeah, but then you like, what do you do with Suarez? Well, he can't help anybody like that. Even if you think you could trade him, if his velocity is like that, you're not getting anything for him.
You got to put him in the pen.
But in the pen, you're not going to get anything. Like if you're throwing 89 miles an hour coming out of the pen, guys are going to feast on that. And the pen, you want hard throwers to come out of that pen.
Yeah, but he's a savvy enough pitcher. He's got enough stuff where he can get people out.
You tell me, the savvy pitcher in Major League Baseball in the last 10 years that has been able to get by with 89.
Yeah, you say last 10 because I'm like, Jamie Moyer.
Yeah, and Greg Maddux and Glad, like those guys. Way back in the 90s. There is nobody that gets away with 89 anymore. Who was that left-hander that the Phillies had last year was getting hammered? He was throwing 89.
Was that Colby Allard?
Yeah. Colby Allard was getting hammered. He was at 89, a left-hander.
Yeah. So what do you think it is, though? Like,
I don't know. Like
last year we thought it was the back, right?
He looks like he's a worn down pitcher if he's only at 89. Like, I don't understand that at all. That's problematic for me. Now, you're right. They do have a guy that they can bring up in the middle of the season, but they're going to have to get through the early months with him.
Yeah, I'm just reading at some of the things here. I mean, it's possible, with Suarez talking about what the goals are and for him to be able to pitch late into the season, maybe they are ramping him up. Like, I make the joke about Joel Embiid, but maybe they are ramping him up.
I get the ramp up, but dude, 89? I mean, come on. He threw 91 last year ramping up. He's 2 miles an hour slower. That is a red flag for me, I'm telling you. Now, I hope I'm overreacting, but that's a red flag for me.
Now, no overreaction to Wheeler getting hit around a little bit.
No.
I don't worry about it.
No, because his velocity's fine. It's just a matter of
He's probably trying different things, too.
If the velocity was down to 94, I'd be very concerned. But no, he's not. So I have no concern.
And how about Kepler going yard yesterday?
There you go. It's your boy, left field. You're the latest guy you're going to pick on to play left field.
Well, I'm hoping it's an upgrade from Austin Hayes.
Guess who's arrived? Ray Dunn has arrived. Well, Ray, what's up?
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Thanks for getting here from the airport. Look at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were a little delayed weather-wise.
You
so.
flew out this morning?
Yeah.
Did
Can you
they-
believe 8 a.m. is the earliest you can fly out of Charlotte to Philly?
That is weird. Did they win yesterday?
They did win.
6 straight.
Yeah.
How about it, Ray?
Ray's in for a long postseason.
That's the hope.
Even if it goes if he goes to the NCAA, he's not in it for a long season. If he goes to the NIT, Ray's working at least 3 games.
Now, will you get any? Well, Temple men aren't going to make. They're not going to even make the NIT, are they? Temple men.
Are they 500?
They are above now with
Well, they
the win
should- they-
last night.
All right, so if they get in the NIT,
they'll make the NIT.
maybe you'll get an ESPN Plus game.
Yes, do you think Temple will be on
Probably not.
No?
ESPN Plus?
I'd
Okay.
imagine they'll
NIT?
bring in an outside crew
For that.
It's probably a road game for Temple.
Did you hear what we're doing today, Ray?
I did.
You're going up against me too. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear.
Bill versus the audience versus Ray.
Did you get a good night's
General
sleep?
Knowledge Wednesday.
I don't want any excuses, Ray.
Here are the topics,
Why
by
would
the
you
way.
ask?
You ready for the topics? General knowledge, Oscars best actresses, and American bands.
Oh, we're in trouble, Ray. This may be a 1-0 victory
This
for
could
the audience.
be. The audience has the edge. Mike Missanelli Show back after this.
Tyrone Johnson.
I don't understand.
Mike Missanelli Show. All right, here's the news. We are able to take phone calls today. It's a temporary system they've installed en route to replacing the entire system. We've been out without phone calls since last Thursday, Friday, and then over the weekend, and then Monday, Tuesday, and here it is, General Knowledge Wednesday. Unfortunately, we're able to take calls for General Knowledge Wednesday. So we're able to play General Knowledge Day, and we included Bill, because it was going to be, if we weren't going to be able to take calls, Bill versus Ray. So Bill prepped for it. So it would be...
I studied all night, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't be good for me to eliminate them. So we're going to do it three-way here. Audience versus Bill versus Ray, and we'll accumulate the points on right answers at the end. And first of all, the prize will be you'll get a spot in our knockout tournament, but we're also going to get another prize that we'll announce subsequently.
All right, we're working on it. And I'm a little worried, though, Mike.
What are you worried about?
The CJ thing, man.
All right, let's get into the CJ Gardner-Johnson thing because, all right, so everybody's happy. Smiley faces. Saquon got an extension. Nobody has anything bad to say about that at all. They rewarded him. They save a little money. They extend him. He'll be an Eagle until he's 31 at least. But when you do something like that, you got to worry about the rest of your team being a little jelly. Now, Saquon's an upstanding individual that I wouldn't think anybody would get jelly after what he did last year, setting an NFL record or almost setting an NFL record, that you expect that he would be rewarded. But somebody doesn't appear to be happy with it because of his own situation, Bill. Who is that?
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So he tweeted out 45 minutes ago, and read into this as you will. Here's CJ Gardner-Johnson tweet. You would think feelings would be mutual after a great season, but I twin keep that bleep solid.
I twin keep that bleep solid means I'm happy for you, Saquon, but what about me?
What about me? This is the risk, man. This is the risk.
Well, it's only a risk when you have a guy. See, he's the modern day T.O. You know, like nobody else. You can't imagine anybody else but CJ Gardner-Johnson that would have something bad to say about it 45 minutes ago.
Well, yeah, so Chauncey Gardner-Johnson this offseason signed a 3-year, $27 million contract with the Eagles. I guess what his concern is if you're looking at the numbers, this season he only has a guaranteed salary of $2 million, and next season he has no guaranteed money.
Which means they can cut him after this year and have no problems.
Correct.
It's the same with T.O.
Yeah, if they were to cut him after this coming season, they would save money on the cap if they did a post-June 1st designation next year. They wouldn't owe him anything. So you can understand why he wants that new deal. Just bad timing, man. Let Saquon enjoy his moment.
In the old day, under Joe Banner, that would be taken under advisement, and he would be on the way out. Because Joe don't play with those players that are disgruntled like that, or you're going to cause that kind of rancor.
Yeah,
But
I don't like
it. Howie, a little different. He wants to keep the goodwill. So I assume Howie will negotiate here with my man. You think?
Well, you would think, but I don't know. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, remember the first time around when he signs the 1-year deal here or he gets traded here, they weren't able to re-sign him. He goes to Detroit, and then he wasn't really happy leaving. Comes back this past season. He did have a good year. I hope they talk to him, but again, you're going to set a bad precedent.
Listen, he had a good year. He didn't have a Pro Bowl year, did he?
No, but he does add something that
I get
defense was missing last year.
I'd rather have him, but come on, man. You can't. When Saquon gets this kind of contract as a deserved guy who kind of carried your squad offensively the entire year, you can't come out on the same day.
All right, hold on. Let's go a little deeper here.
All right, let's go deeper.
Somebody quote tweeted CJ's tweet and says, this has nothing to do with him and the Eagles, by the way. Relax. And Chauncey Gardner-Johnson reposted that tweet. So now he's saying, no, this has nothing to do with the Eagles.
What's it have to do with?
It's a good question.
Read it again, and you tell me where it doesn't apply to the Eagles. Yeah, what did he write?
I'm trying to figure out. All right, so he writes, you would think feelings would be mutual after a great season.
Okay,
but
so let's stop right there. You would think feelings would be mutual. On the heels of Saquon getting an extension, you don't think that means, how about me?
All right, so the person who's tweeting this out, yeah, that's how I interpret it. But there's this guy, Thomas Peterson, who says, I'll let CJ share who this is about if he wants to. Just know it has nothing to do with the Eagles, and it's something that's only motivating him to get better.
Well, who's this guy? Who's this guy that's tweeting that out?
Thomas Peterson from Bleacher Report.
All right, well, whatever.
We need some clarification.
Dude,
but
whatever.
you can't. You got to also know, like, if Chauncey Gardner-Johnson doesn't mean this to be directed towards the Eagles, you got to understand how this is perceived when you do this less than 24 hours after Saquon's contract is announced.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't look good. So then explain yourself. You can't have this cryptic text or cryptic tweet.
And you can't have some Bleacher Report dude trying to clarify it, who he probably knows.
Exactly.
All right. We do have calls today. We have a man who's been hanging on the line, so I want to get to him. I want to reward him for calling. The first call in several days right here on 97.5 The Fanatic, Mike Missanelli Show. It's Ed from Mount Laurel joining us. Ed, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Ed. How's it going?
Hey,
we got a call.
good, man,
Yeah.
It worked.
okay.
There you go.
I had like a two-part question.
Uh-huh.
One is like the contracts always kind of confuse me. Like, could you explain to me how an early signing like this, like a restructuring of the contract, moves the cap space back? Like, how does that free up cap space?
Less dollars for this particular year. And then you tack it on in the end, or you put it in a signing bonus where you can prorate it. So your salary for this year doesn't count as much on the cap as it did before.
Okay, and did that have more to do with a big free agent splash they're trying to make, or keeping people like Bond and Becton?
I think both. I think the more money you can save, the more flexibility you have to do things, especially to keep your guys.
Okay, so what?
Yeah,
would
it's
you
very
rather
strategic
do?
the way they
Focus
work
on
the
the
cap.
guys we got?
I'm sorry?
Would you rather focus on the guys that?
Well,
we
I would
have,
focus
like
on
Becton and
Bond. Yeah, Bond's the guy that I would really like to focus on. They're not going to be able to keep Milton Williams, I don't think. But Bond's the guy that I think.
wasn't really. Yeah, Sweat and Milton didn't bother me as much because I know we can go out and pick up somebody like a Max Crosby, but I really wanted to keep Becton. I thought he really shined.
Yeah,
And,
I mean that's possible they keep him.
That kind of money. You think so?
It's possible. Yeah, they're strategic if they really want him. But see, I think they have some depth there, so maybe they don't pay him. He's going to get a lot of money as a guard, believe it or not. Now that he reestablished himself in the league, so yeah, I hope it happens, but I wouldn't count on it.
Okay.
All right, man. Now you're a first caller in 5 days, bro.
Running back.
I get you, but Saquon, like, come on, man, he was an all-world player last year. All right,
Sure.
general knowledge for you, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, you're going to start it up now. This is you, the audience, against Bill and Ray. So here's the question from our general knowledge category. What is the world's most popular beverage other than water?
Coke.
Coke. Incorrect. Oh, sorry, man. Sorry, Ed. I appreciate the phone call. First call, breakthrough.
So
Would you like that question, or would you like another? Well, it's Ray anyway. You're third.
yeah, and what I have to make sure that I don't do is I'm going to have to slightly close the computer because the YouTube chat likes to try to answer. Like they've
Okay.
already thrown up some of their answers.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm going to do this when you ask
Okay.
me. So
All
there's
right.
no
All right.
collusion.
So let's do. Ray, would you like that same question, or would you like another one?
I'll say I'll go with that question. And I'll throw coffee as my answer.
Coffee. An excellent answer. Incorrect. However.
Really?
It is incorrect. The correct answer is tea.
Ooh.
Oh,
More people drink
England.
tea than coffee.
Brutal.
Yep, there's a lot of tea times.
All right, Bill.
I could take a 1-0 lead on everybody.
General
here.
knowledge.
All right,
What
computer's down.
All
Not
right.
looking.
What drinking did anybody on the chat board have tea?
Let's see. Yes,
They did?
couple people. Relative time works, bewildered. They all had
Okay.
tea. All right, I'm closing the
Here's your
computer.
general knowledge question. What drinking vessel supposedly confers eternal life on those who drink from it?
What drinking vessel? Eternal life. Wait, is this a location somewhere, or are you talking about
A vessel. That's not a location, a vessel, something, a thing that you drink from.
A chalice.
It's very close, but it's incorrect.
Oh, damn it.
Just think of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Come on, dude.
You knew this, Ray?
Yeah. I'm mad I didn't take the second question.
And he went to a Catholic school. It's the Holy Grail, my friend.
Well,
the
that's what
Holy
I
Grail.
mean with the chalice.
You said chalice. You didn't say Holy Grail. A chalice doesn't give you everlasting life. The Holy Grail was the only thing that gave you eternal life.
Which is, in fact, a chalice, is it not?
Not so easy to do this, huh?
Whatever. I don't want to take over.
So far, Ziggy. 0-0-0. The Mike Missanelli Show continues on General Knowledge Wednesday, where we're actually taking calls.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Saquon signs an extension. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The big news in the sports world yesterday, Saquon Barkley signing a 2-year, $41.2 million extension that now takes his deal through the 2028 season. For Saquon Barkley, it makes him the richest running back contract of all time, going over $20 million per year, totally resetting that market. But also for the Philadelphia Eagles, some way, somehow, yet again, they're able to restructure a contract that gives them more cap flexibility as they move towards this offseason. And of course, the beginning of the legal tampering period coming on Monday, March 10th, and obviously the open of free agency on Wednesday, March 12th. So with that in mind, a week from today, all those things can become official. The Eagles with some more cap space to work with after the deal with Saquon Barkley. Elsewhere last night in Philadelphia, the 76ers are going down to the Timberwolves and the Flyers losing to the Flames. This update is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off. I'm Ray Dunn in the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Andrew Teixeira.
58, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. You can get in today on a telephone line, actually. 610-632-0975. You can also text to that line. We didn't change that at all. Before we get back to the topics and to General Knowledge Wednesday, I was watching that Netflix golf thing. What's it called? Full Swing?
Yeah, Full Swing.
It's getting really boring.
I actually have never watched it.
Really?
And I've heard it was good when it started, but it's starting to fade off a little bit.
Yeah, there's not enough compelling stuff. It's like, okay, I got it. But if you're going to go inside stuff, it's like Hard Knocks. The only thing compelling about Hard Knocks was that, the inside stuff. And they don't have really enough inside stuff. Like, for instance, Rory McIlroy. They go into great detail about how he had a divorce, like going into the PGA, I think. And they didn't talk about it. He didn't talk about it, and they didn't give you any insight into it. Like what's the point then?
Yeah, are these new episodes, or you're talking about the one that aired in 23?
This is new. This is the new season.
Oh, it's a new season.
It's a brand new season. So it covers Scotty Scheffler's arrest.
Oh, it gets into that? Anything interesting?
But no. It's the stuff that we already knew.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't talk about it. Now, maybe down the road, I don't know, maybe another episode, but they don't really give you any of the inside stuff on what happened then. What do you.
Gotcha. And you finished Court of Gold, you said. That was good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Now, so here's my other thing on golf. And you are listening to WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. So last night, TGL was on, and Tiger's team got eliminated. What's the point then of carrying on the TG? Like, does anybody want to see anybody else? Like, Tiger and Rory were the front run. Like, he's out now. His team didn't make it.
Well, they can't. It's not fixed.
Well, shouldn't it be? Really? Like, the whole thing was to see Tiger and Rory play every week, wasn't it?
I guess that's how it started. I can't get into it. I know people think it's pretty cool.
I can't either. I'm a golf fan, and I'm not the virtual reality type of guy. I'd rather play on a real course. Like, I don't go to the simulators very much. So
yeah, I'm not a huge fan. I mean, you can work on your swing in a simulator, but I don't do it enough. But yeah, I prefer watching golf on these nice courses as opposed to what the TGL is. But I know people like it because they're mic'd up and all that stuff. But you can't fix
anything.
it. You can't fix it so that Tiger continues.
I think you can. You have the other guys miss putts.
You want it like WWE?
Yes.
Predetermined outcomes.
But again, like, watching him bothers me. Why is it? This is another problem of mine. Why is it that he's never resonated with me?
Who, Tiger?
Yeah. And everybody adores him.
Well, this kind of brings it full circle to a topic we had yesterday. We were talking a little yesterday about the whole MJ versus LeBron thing, right? Mm-hmm. I think Tiger Woods did more for his sport than maybe any other superstar in the history of sports. Now, I'm not talking about what Jackie Robinson did. I'm talking about from growing the sport, from the amount of money that people make, making it mainstream. As amazing as Jordan was, as amazing as LeBron is, as amazing as all these superstars are, what Tiger Woods did for the game of golf, I think, is unprecedented.
I would agree with that.
So that's why
I think he's the best golfer of all time, and I agree with what you just said. Why doesn't he resonate with me? Is it me? Am I a weirdo? Or are there things that people feel the same about? Like, he doesn't attach. Like, he like walks around in a humidor tube, and nobody can get to him.
Maybe just you, man. Like, when he was in his prime, and like he would wear his Sunday red, and you would watch other guys just crumble.
He's the best at ever.
He was incredible,
golf, but
man.
did he attach with you?
I've always liked Tiger. I did. I always liked him. I mean, and I know he had the sex scandals. I know he had that whole thing.
No, I'm talking about his demeanor, his ability to connect with people. I don't see. Like, I think as a golfer, well, nobody on that tour connects with anybody. So maybe it's just the species.
Well, did you watch
of athlete?
I've watched a few documentaries on Tiger. And the way he was kind of raised, it's amazing that he's only had the sex scandal.
Yeah, I've seen the same documentaries. I get it. But
could you imagine? I mean, he's like 3 years old, and his dad is on with Bob Hope saying that not only is Tiger going to be a professional golfer, he literally is telling this kid at 3 years old that you are going to change the game of golf.
Yeah.
And he does.
Yeah.
Like, that's incredible
It
to
is
me.
pretty incredible.
To have those type of expectations put on you and actually accomplish it.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. But there's some athletes that just don't attach with me. I look at their demeanor and I go, he doesn't want anything to do with anybody else but himself. Like, and I go, come on, man, you're the best in the world. Spread some joy. That's all.
Yeah, somebody in the YouTube chat said that exact thing, that he doesn't resonate because he's a narcissist, Mike.
Well, he is. There's no question about it. But
you're that good.
I think like you're the best in the world. It doesn't cost you a penny to connect with people, does it?
Well, I think he connected too much with the female.
Well, other than that, I'm talking about the public in general.
Yeah.
All right, 610-632-0975. We got what?
I just want to clarify too, because people are tweeting at me and Ray like crazy now. CJ Gardner-Johnson has clarified. He tweeted something else that says, "This is nothing about our team. Trust, we good." And it's a video of him with the belt to ass at the parade. So, moving on, people are tagging at me.
Okay, so what does that mean?
It has nothing to do with the team. Doesn't say what it was about, but it has nothing to do with it.
The belt to ass has something to do with the team. Is he going to harass because of the belt to ass? Like, what does he mean by that? It's one thing you say something and you're trying to like steer people away. It's the other thing. What else could it have meant? Give me what it could mean. Like, if he tweets out the picture of belt to ass, he says, "I've been taking a lot of heat because of this, and this is what it was about." Well, he doesn't say that, does he?
He doesn't say.
No, he just puts the belt to ass there.
I'm just reading through the comments to see if there's anything.
Here it is. All right, he got ass burnt that they didn't give him an extension, and that was a knee-jerk reaction to put out that tweet, and now he realized it was wrong to put it out. That's my theory.
So you need him to clarify what it was about.
Yeah, why else wouldn't he clarify? If it's not about the team, then clarify it. Because it's certainly a coincidence that when the news breaks that Saquon got an extension, and you say something like you would think loyalty, blah, 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 you're saying, well, they didn't give me that same opportunity, and I'm making peanuts. That's what he's saying. What else could he be saying, Bill?
And I'm hoping I will keep monitoring it. If we get breaking news, we are the station for breaking news. We'll give it to you what Chauncey Gardner-Johnson meant. I don't know, man. I pray that it's not about that because we don't need this type of drama.
Okay, then give me what it could be. You're a smart guy. Sometimes.
That's the thing. I keep trying to. As soon as I read it, the reason I brought it up is this has to be about that.
You're allowing an escape route here.
It was a pretty quick escape route. I mean, he did write it. Ray, you have anything as I'm looking here?
You're giving him an escape route.
Yeah, I am.
Why? Why you're inclined to do that?
Well,
first?
Because
you go pro player first.
Well, because he very quickly went right after it and said this has nothing to do with it.
Then what is it? It's clearly, if it's not about the team and you put the picture of the belt to ass, well, then could it be about the belt to ass?
No,
if so, say it.
Then he's got, right before he did the tweet where you would think feelings would be mutual after a great season, there's a tweet right before that says, "The slick sneak dissin' is crazy." So somebody must be disrespecting him somewhere along the line. And let's hope he's not referring to the Eagles.
All right, whatever. 610-632-0975. On the other side, Chuck from Havertown will get a chance to go against Bill and Ray in General Knowledge Wednesday as we accumulate the right answers and give you a big prize at the end. We're back after this. 11:12, Mike Missanelli Show. Oh, yeah. Into the danger zone. God, I want to hear Kenny. I want to hear Kenny screech it.
I think it's just
we just have the music. We don't have him singing.
Yeah.
See, that's a radio thing. They clean it up.
They take out the lyrics.
Yeah. In any event, we have sweetened the pot for our general knowledge prize.
It's a good prize.
Now, I've never done this. It's a 4-pack of tickets to Body Worlds. Works? Body Works.
No, Body Worlds.
Body Worlds exhibit at the Franklin Institute.
You've never been? I went. This is
what
a
is
few years
it
ago.
about? Tell me what it's about.
It's you go and they have like
An anatomy thing?
mannequins that are kind of like the anatomy. You can see the inside of the body and the different muscles and things.
Oh, I get it.
It's pretty cool. If you have kids too, it could be a good learning
4-pack
experience.
of tickets for your kids and yourself, and knockout tickets. And you get in the knockout tournament.
But you got to beat me and Ray today.
But there's no score on the board yet. Now, one thing I need to talk about also, we're also giving a spot in the Fanatic Knockout Tournament and a pair of Sixer tickets if you go online. So the Fanatic Knockout Tournament will be Wednesday, March 26th. You enter today's keyword on our contest page. And our contest page, our website is 975thefanatic.com. And you just click on the contest part on the website, and you get a chance to win a spot. You have until the end of the day to enter our keyword. Now, each winner, daily winner, will get a pair of tickets for the game that night versus the Wizards. And after the game, you'll head to the court to play knockout against us all.
And we have a winner from yesterday.
The winner from yesterday, what was his name?
Jared Revens from Claymont, Delaware was the winner yesterday.
To Jared Revens. I hope he's practicing his free throws.
You better not get in front of me, man. I'm knocking you out right on the first round.
Bill is predicting greatness for himself this year.
Hey,
Shocking.
If you don't believe in yourself, Ray, who will?
Ray, are you predicting greatness?
No, I just show up and do my thing.
Where's that great picture of you getting knocked out from last year?
In 4Q.
It's
They
a
moved
great,
it so Tom could see it every time he produced
it's a great picture of
Oh,
Ray,
really?
all demoralized after he got knocked out.
No.
I was actually, Bill was colluding to stay in the game. I was the show last year. I understand there were other people that
right?
went further.
You were the show?
Yeah. I knocked out a number of our friends here and a couple listeners as well, and it was a wonderful, wonderful evening for me.
Oh.
But the thing is, once I get going, if I start knocking people out, I start talking smack. I start
Well, look at you.
getting a little demonstrative with...
If I enter, I will probably do jump shots.
From the foul line.
Yeah. Maybe I'll step back a little bit.
All right. Listen,
Fire jump shots.
I know that
free throws are just too,
I know that we're all competitive, but I just want our show to be the winner. So someone from our show. So I'm pulling for the two of you unless it's up against
Yeah,
you.
see, there would be a day where this wouldn't even be a contest for me. I won 3 straight father-daughter foul shooting contests at my daughter's school.
Did the three-point line exist back then or no?
My daughter was in school fairly recently.
I know,
big
just-
boy. All right, I got trophies. Oh man, you just see them 3 straight. The dads couldn't beat me.
We'll see. I hope you enter on. But the problem is Ray wasn't.
I don't know if I'm going to enter.
Was Ray here when you explained you slammed your hand in the door?
No, Ray
That's your
was
shooting
here
range.
yesterday.
Yes.
Oh, you were?
that was a Monday
That was a
story.
Monday
All right, so
story.
yesterday's show, I'm glad you brought that up. Yesterday's show, Ray didn't hear the dilemma, and I'm curious to know what Ray would have done with the grandma. Were you here when I talked about the grandma?
Getting a double bird?
Yes,
Oh,
that was
Monday.
Monday.
Oh, that was Monday? I did that Monday?
Yesterday was more the.
Okay.
Well, Ray was here yesterday, right? No, you weren't here
No, he
yesterday.
wasn't here yesterday.
Is everybody
See, I
okay?
forget.
Is there a lack of O2 in there?
It's
Here
tough.
it is. With no calls, we have just had a stream of consciousness talking. And so I don't know what I've said from one day to the next.
Now, what Ray did miss yesterday was us trying to figure out why I hated Joe Banner
Yeah,
so much.
right.
But that was interesting that last night then I tweet that out and Banner responds.
Yes, now tell the people what you did and what Joe did.
Well, what was rumored to be true wasn't true. What I said was when I worked down there at the Eagles, I was told by a lot of people that there was a salary cap analyst by the name of Howie Roseman that was the true mastermind behind everything, and that it wasn't necessarily Joe Banner who was the brains, that Howie Roseman played a big part in a lot of the success they had during the Andy Reid era. And then Mike said, why do you hate Joe Banner? And I think I also went after Banner yesterday for letting Dawkins out.
Yeah. You did.
And then you started accusing me of hating him.
Yeah, and we were trying to get to the bottom of what it was. I think you had some kind of a clash with him, or he disrespected you, and he like threw you a broom or something, thinking that you were the sweep up guy.
No.
It had to be something.
None of it is true. But I like the story. We could keep it going.
All right, but in any event, he tweeted something in backlash of you today, right?
He did in response.
What was it?
It was in response to me saying if Howie Roseman was in charge in 05.
And what was his tweet?
Terrell Owens would have been rewarded. He just explained himself that, this is different, that this was a smart move with Saquon Barkley, but that T.O.'s demands were too high, and it's never been done before. He still tries to always make excuses. I've never heard Joe Banner say, I made a mistake.
No, you're absolutely right about that. He never says. By the way, I forgot to give you the keyword since we were talking about the knockout tournament on our website. So today's keyword is bench. 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 So you got to get to our website on the contest page part, and you enter the keyword bench, and you'll be qualified.
So like when Ray Dunn played baseball in high school, he rode the bench.
Well, I don't know that.
Were you a baseball player? I'm only kidding around.
When you walked into a locker room, all you could brag about is how you bench.
There you go. That's true. Hey, man, how much you bench?
All right.
Wait, I can see Bill. Backwards hat.
Listen,
walking in. How much you bench?
I don't want to brag. Freshman year at Gettysburg, as a freshman, I benched the most on the team.
Oh my God, I can't believe you weren't recruited by other than
I'm just saying, biggest bench on the team.
You mean Division II schools didn't come clamoring for you?
D3 schools had better education.
Oh, that what it was?
Wait, Ray, did you play baseball or did I make that up? You didn't play
I did play baseball, but not to that.
Gotcha.
610-632-0975, how you get in. All right, Chuck from Havertown will be our next entry into our general knowledge contest today. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Saquon signs an extension. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Saquon Barkley signed a 2-year, $41.2 million extension. It takes him through the 2028 season, making him the highest paid running back. The running back market now over $20 million per year with this extension for Saquon Barkley, as he will now be here through his age 31 season. And somehow, some way, as it always happens with these contracts when Howie Roseman reworks them, it opened up cap flexibility for the Birds ahead of next week's free agency opening in the NFL. The legal tampering period begins March 10th. That's next Monday. And then everything allowed to happen March 12th, that Wednesday of next week. Elsewhere in Philadelphia, the 76ers lost 126-112 to the Timberwolves last night. Quentin Grimes had 30 points in the loss, and loss dropped the 76ers to 21-40, tied for the 6th worst record in the NBA. Flyers lost 6-3 to the Flames. Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee returned to Philly for the first time since being traded away. The loss ended a 5-game point streak for the Flyers. This update is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping at Code Radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. I think we ought to get to our caller, Chuck in Havertown. Chuck, are you with us?
I hear you.
How are you, Chuck? You're our second caller in 5 days.
Thanks a lot.
Fantastic.
Good
Thanks for checking in.
So, real quick, we were talking about Tiger Woods. Yeah, Bill, I agree with you. There was a time, remember they were charting of him getting the most opens out of any, achieving the highest number of opens won by a golfer at that time. Like, he really did transform golf. And, Mike, I think part of he's always been aloof, though, right?
Well, yeah, and I wonder why. Like, I don't get it.
Well, part of it, I guess, I mean, issues that I don't know, I guess, are maybe his upbringing, but recently he's had so much, like his back issues, of things going on in his personal life, and I'm not blaming anything, or his parents recently died. I mean, I think that's part of it, but he's always been, even at his best, he never, I guess, connected, I don't know, I guess the way.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I go, why? Like, you're the best golfer in the world. There's no reason for you to be, like, disassociated with the public.
Yeah, sure, but I guess, I don't know, everybody has their own personality. I don't know.
But he made golf cool.
But yeah,
he made golf cool. Like, for my generation growing up, it was no longer where golf was, like, nerdy, older, rich guys. It was, you were cool to golf, like, with the Nike brand and all that.
I remember the local, even just around where I live. Not that I'm not a big golfer, but like the playing of golf, like you said, Bill. Younger people started playing it more.
There's no question. I agree everything what Bill said. I just wonder why. Even now, it's awkward when he's speaking. Like if you watch this TGL thing, it's so awkward when he's in front of a camera, and they say they have to pander to him. It's like sickening. Like Scott Van Pelt, I'm watching yesterday. Scott Van Pelt couldn't have slobbered any more over the guy. I'm going, like these guys, people slobbering all over you. Be nice back to him.
Well, I know. What do you mean, Bill? Or what do you mean, Mike? Be nice. How?
He's just detached. Like show a little more. Like I don't know. There's something missing with the guy.
I think he feels he doesn't. Not know, but. I don't know.
All right, well, whatever. Like he's got his own personality. I'm just telling you why he doesn't connect with me, and I'm wondering if I'm the odd one, and maybe I am because I'm odd about a lot of stuff. I'll agree. All right, man. You want a general knowledge question?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Oscars Best Actresses. We did some actors last week with the Gene Hackman stuff. So we're going to go to the year 2020. This actress won the Oscar for her portrayal in the movie Judy, the Judy Garland movie, and I will give you a hint. She made her bones in the movie Jerry Maguire.
I know it. Oh, man.
Oh, dude, sorry. You're out. You're out. We can only go so far because we don't trust the Google. Bill, you know what that is?
Yeah, it's Renee Zellweger.
Okay, that's why you're not getting the question.
Yeah.
That's Ray's question now. Uh-oh, Ray. Oscar-winning actresses, but they come with a hint. This woman won the Oscar in 2022 for the movie The Eyes of Tammy Faye. But she had also played a starring role in the movie Zero Dark 30. Red-haired actress.
Beauty.
Yeah, I have
Ray's out.
zero idea.
Ray
Scarlett
is
Johansson's
out.
the only thing I can choose.
It was Bill.
Jessica
Look at
Chastain.
Bill. Would have gotten two in a row here, and now
look at
here's
you.
Bill's question.
Another great movie with her. Molly's Game.
Yes, where she's Jeremy Bloom's sister.
Correct. Who played for the Philadelphia Eagles for a short time.
The poker shark.
Yes.
I saw it.
Idris Elba's in it.
Yeah. Bill, your question.
All right, now I'm closing the computer. Here we go.
Bill, in the year 2017, this actress won the Oscar for her portrayal in the movie La La Land. Do you need a hint?
I'll take one, but I think I know who it is.
Okay. She's kind of slightly built, and she has auburn hair.
Is it Emma Stone?
It is Emma Stone. Bill launches the lead.
Now, technically, I could be up 3-0 if I got all three of those right.
All three of them he got as a movie guy. How about that, Ray?
That is never how this has worked.
I am the movie guy. Remember on SNL?
All right, now, Ray, the chat board is saying that Bill is two types from Seinfeld. That he is close to the character who played Jimmy, who referred to himself in the third person and was like basketball slick. So they're talking about him being
I could
Jimmy.
see him as a Jimmy.
But also, they're comparing him to Tony, who went mountain climbing. Tony. That's right, Tony.
Tony.
Yeah, so Tony is a male bimbo. He's a mimbo.
He's a mimbo.
Is that me? Am I a mimbo?
Now is Bill close to being Tony from Seinfeld?
Now I got to watch the show. All these inside jokes that I don't get.
Was played by a guy named Dan Cortese, who he was famous for something else. He's like a handsome, non-acting type of guy who was perfect for the part. Believe it or not, he was in some kind of a MTV type of thing, I think.
Yeah, MTV Sports from 92 to 97. Yeah. Oh, I remember Dan Cortez.
Yeah, Dan Cortez.
It's Dan Cortez.
It's Cortez?
Yeah, he used to have the long hair. I remember him on MTV Sports.
So people were saying that's you.
All right. I mean, I actually would prefer that than a lot of people say I look like Pete Davidson's older brother. I get that a lot.
Like Pete Davidson a little bit, but Tony, I think that you got that kind of thing. He wore the backwards hat.
Well, guess what?
Seinfeld.
Guess what? Tony is up 1-0 on Ray and the callers today.
Yeah, he is. All right, so let's clarify. You think it's a clarification. I do not think it's a clarification with the CJ Gardner thing. And that people out there going, you guys are always trying to cause trouble. No. We're not trying to cause trouble. My man put out a tweet, and we're trying to figure out what would be the motivation for his tweet based on the heels of Saquon Barkley getting a contract extension. When I first saw the tweet or the X, I thought, well, he's a little jelly that Saquon got talked to and got an extension right away while he had a great season and he's making peanuts and he got ugats. But what's happening here?
So, Ray, do you have that yet?
Yes.
Okay, so we're getting more clarification. So he does the original tweet. It's been confirmed. He says it's not about that. Now there's speculation that it may be about this because Darius Slay went on his podcast, I guess last night, and was talking about who may take over to lead the secondary now that Slay's no longer on the Eagles, and this is what Slay said.
I do got a great leadership role in that secondary room, but I won't be surprised if Reed and them guys like Reed can, advance these guys. Reed be around me and a lot of other veterans that have been here before, and I'm sure he can lead that group the right way. Because that's who I feel will be leading the group is if we're finding in that building is Reed Blankenship, because he's a great leader. You know what I'm saying? He is a great damn leader. If they bring another veteran in that's already been playing a lot, I can see them coming in and being a leader as well. But for sure, if I'm not in that room, Reed Blankenship, will be a great, tremendous leader. A great one.
Boy.
I'm going to miss it.
Oh, boy. So
we're doing detective work
so
here.
So let's just say, here's my comment. Either way, CJ Gardner-Johnson is wrong, okay? Because this would indicate that he slighted that Slay didn't mention him as a leader.
If that is what is going on here. I mean, really, when you take a step back and look, well, if it's not about the Saquon Barkley contract, is it about this? But you're right. Either way, come on, man. Don't be making noise.
Because he's talking about fam. Slay would be a fam, right? So what was the X that he put out the post, the X post CJ Gardner put out?
The original one or the most recent?
The original one.
So the original one from CJ was, you would think feelings would be mutual after a great season, but I, twin, keep that bleep solid.
I, twin, meaning, not fam, but twin. Slay would be his twin, right? Teammate, twin. Keep that ass solid.
Yes.
So he's saying, yeah, you wronged me, but, I get it. I don't get it, but, whatever.
And then he tweets, bro, this has zero to do with the contract. Please stop spreading fake news. He also tweets, this is nothing about our team. Trust, we good.
Well, it's certainly about his team because his teammate that he went to war with, he perceived took or slighted him a little bit, which is not very team-like, is it?
No. Man, come on. I hate having to do this and dive deep into what he meant by it, but this is what he created because people are already coming at us like, oh, Philadelphia media causing trouble.
Causing trouble.
Why tweet it?
Yeah, exactly.
Why tweet a cryptic tweet?
The people that are coming after us, ask yourself the question. Would you talk about that if you were doing sports talk radio? Would you talk about what he put out there?
You have to. That's what people don't understand.
No, they don't understand it.
You have
it's
to.
Like you have to talk about it. We're not paid by the Eagles. We're not PR people for the Eagles.
But if we weren't talking about it, people would be texting in saying, did you see what Chauncey tweeted?
Yeah.
You gotta.
You can't win either way. I get it. But believe me, we're not trying to cause trouble. Go to the damn source.
Now, as we're talking about the Saquon contract and Chauncey may be looking at it saying, hey, where's mine? There's a list of some other guys, Mike, that I think may be lined up at Howie Roseman's door that we can get into.
We'll talk about that after this. It's General Knowledge Wednesday. We can take calls. So here's how you get in. 610-632-0975. You can also text us. We're back after this.
The Philadelphia 76ers
Missanelli Show, 975 The Fanatic. I can tell you that the next category on General Knowledge Wednesday is American bands, whether you're an American band or not. This will test your knowledge of bands.
Wait, this is our general knowledge topic?
General knowledge, it's one of them.
I'm going to struggle with that.
You are?
The movies I'd be all right with.
You don't know if a band's an American band or a foreign band?
Maybe I will. I'm bad with band names.
I don't think it would be difficult in general.
Oh, you're going to ask if it's American or foreign, not the name of the band.
I'm going to give you the name of the band.
Okay, maybe I'll
give you the name of the band. You got to tell me whether it's American or foreign.
And you got a 50-50 shot.
Exactly. So it's a really easy category. Now, you brought something up that's really interesting to me, the dynamic of criticizing players, your own hometown players. People have no problem with if the subject was Paul George. People have no problem. He has lost. He doesn't have the goodwill of the fan base, right? So you got a little more leeway where they're not going to react. Oh, you're picking on Paul George.
Yeah, but they don't want you picking on a Super Bowl winning team.
It's exactly right.
They just won the Super Bowl.
They just won a Super Bowl, and there's nothing negative that they can perceive. And I always ask people, I go, do you think we wake up in the morning and go, today I decided I'm going to go after CJ Gardner-Johnson? Or is it we show up and a tweet goes viral and it's in front of us and it's in our face? Now, how are we? I'm curious to know how people think we should handle that. This is not like I'm actually asking them. I'm not going to make a judgment here. But one of your first reactions would be, oh, why are you picking on CJ Gardner-Johnson? Why do you have to go negative? And I wonder how, if you are, I'm going to make you a sports talk host, and that happens, how would you choose to handle it? 610-632-0975. I'm serious about this because listen, I'm old and I've been in business for a long time, but I can still learn. What is bad? What the bad perception that people get from that? I got to ask why.
And whether or not Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is in fact upset that they gave the contract extension to Saquon or not, this still highlights how brilliant of an offseason Howie Roseman had last year because he took care of everybody. It doesn't matter how close a team is. Money is the root of all evil. Last offseason, they paid Devontae, they paid A.J. Brown, they paid Landon Dickerson, they paid Jordan Mailata. Obviously, they paid Saquon. They gave him the new contract. So last year, even though the offense wasn't necessarily this pass-heavy offense, no one had to worry about earning that next contract. It was a brilliant offseason because everyone was happy entering into the season from a financial perspective. Let's hope they do the same thing this offseason because you just don't want people, hey, where's mine? Where's mine? And I said before the break, Mike, the next guy I think you're going to hear gets that contract extension, it's got to be Cam Jurgens. He was drafted in 2022. Unlike Jordan Davis, there's no fifth-year option, which we got to talk about too because they have to exercise Jordan Davis's fifth-year option by May 2nd. But Jurgens is now eligible for a new contract. He's a 2-year starter, one at guard, one at center, makes a Pro Bowl. He's got to get his new deal now. He's eligible for that new contract. There's no fifth-year option. Give him his new deal.
And we had our first caller of the day today was like, why would you do that with Saquon? Well, to do it, to spread the money out to just what you're talking about so you can get these other guys under contract. But I want to go back to the topic on why people right away think it's the media causing the problem.
Yeah.
And the guy himself who puts out the social media.
Fans want to just be happy-go-lucky. I mean, it was the same thing. We keep going back to when Brandon Graham said what he said about AJ and Jalen.
But look at them. The popular players get the leeway. The ones that let you down. Now, I don't know what CJ Gardner-Johnson is in this town, whether he gets that kind of leeway. He's not going to get the same leeway as Brandon Graham. But you're right. The original impact caused people on the chat board to say, why are you guys trying to cause trouble?
Yeah,
right?
And I'm still getting tweeted at. Yeah, I'm getting instant messages on Instagram.
This is a really interesting conversation to me because I want to know why people would immediately think that. It's such a mistrust. And I really don't understand the level of mistrust that people have for the press because the press is out there giving you the information. I never understood why you wouldn't appreciate what the press gives you. You can disagree with columnists and things like that. But there are people out there pounding the pavement to give you information about your team.
So we simply read the tweet and are trying to figure out what it is. And I got someone now taking a shot at me about Sirianni. D-Lo on Twitter.
What did D-Lo say about your Sirianni love?
He says, Bill Colarulo, we know you're Sirianni's mouthpiece, but come on. Underneath CJ Gardner-Johnson saying this has zero to do with the contract. I don't even know what that means.
Okay. So let's put two and two together. You're a sports talk host. We started off talking about the goodwill that Howie Roseman is concerned about with his team. And part of that goodwill is rewarding a player who really earned it. So he earns it, right? So on the heels of that, here comes an ex-post by CJ Gardner-Johnson indicating that maybe he was a little jelly and he didn't get his. Now, as it turns out, he says it has nothing to do with the team, but it does have to do with the team because it's possible that there's a backlash at what Slay said about who's going to be the next leader of the defensive backfield, and he goes Reed Blankenship. He doesn't go CJ.
And this is the beautiful part about live sports talk radio. In a world where there are so many podcasts, right? We get to react to things in real time, live,
yes,
on the air, with callers, with chatters, with texters. Where a podcast that's going to get released later tonight, it's different. This is what's beautiful part about sports talk. We get to do it live.
Exactly.
Do it live.
Now, either way, CJ Gardner-Johnson is not enhancing goodwill. Because originally, if we thought it was he was jealous, they didn't talk to him about a new contract. But it may be that, what Darius Slay said, that maybe he was slighted as a leader. Either way, he's put it out there that he's discontented about something. So again, I'll go back to the original question. As a sports talk host, what would you have done? I'm sure. Chat board. Explain it in the chat board. Explain it in text. I want to know how you would have handled it. Would you have ignored it? Would you have said, oh, no, this is going to cause trouble with our gooey feeling that we have right now about the Philadelphia Eagles? And if you do that, guess what? You're not thinking of anything about your responsibilities as a sports talk host.
So I think Matt Deckert hits the nail on the head, bringing in something we were talking about yesterday. Matt Deckert on YouTube says, didn't everyone yesterday say they want their sports announcers to have objectivity, and now their feelings are hurt that we're talking about CJ GJ? It's a great point by Matt Deckert. We're trying to figure out what he meant.
Listen, we have not said anything about CJ Gardner-Johnson's ability, where he fits in with this team, what his personality is. We are commenting solely on something that he put out there. So why is it our problem?
All right, now, Randy, doing it live means reading a post from 59 minutes ago, but then ignoring all the other ones in the last 40 minutes. No, we've read every single tweet. We said what he said. We said that he said it had nothing to do with the team. All of it. So I don't know what you're saying. We're reading all the tweets. We're trying to figure out what this means, but it's a weird thing to tweet less than 24 hours after the big contract.
How could a reasonable mind see what he put out there and say it has nothing to do with the team? At every level, it has something to do with the team. Now, the degree of it may be different, and it's up to interpretation. So even if he got pissed that Darius Slay didn't laud him as a leader, it has something to do with the team.
All right, now I'm going to be really detailed here. If you read in what he's saying, this is nothing about our team. Well, technically, Darius Slay's no longer on the team, right? Then he has another tweet. This has zero to do with the contract. So, again, I really think if I had to put where I think this is directed, it's got to be at the Darius Slay, Reed Blankenship comment.
But it doesn't have to do with a cat in a tree. It has to do with Darius Slay, what he said. That's part of the team. 610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Take one, signs an extension. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Natural Lawn of America. Get free seeding every year. Call 800-FREE-SEED now. Saquon Barkley is signing an extension with the Birds, 2 years, $41.2 million on that extension. It will keep him in Philadelphia through 2028, making him the highest paid running back ever, going over $20 million in an annual value, which has not been done at the running back position. And some way, somehow, as it always ends up happening with a contract renegotiation, extension with Howie Roseman, it opened up cap flexibility for the Eagles as they move towards next week's free agency opening in the NFL, the legal tampering period beginning Monday, March 10th in the NFL. Elsewhere, the 76ers lost 126-111 to the Timberwolves last night. Quentin Grimes had 30 points in the loss. The loss dropped them to 21-40 on the season, tied for the sixth worst record in the NBA. The Flyers lost 6-3 to the Flames. It ended a 5-game point streak for the Flyers. Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee returned to Philly for the first time since being traded away. Frost had 2 assists in the win for the Flames. This update's also brought to you by Robert Half. 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring today. Robert Half is here to help. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today. I'm Ray Dunn on the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Missanelli Show. So last night, big TV night, because Mr. President-elect addressed the Joint Congress audience last night. Did you watch any of that, Bill?
I watched a lot of it, but I ended up going to sleep. It was so long. Did you watch any of it?
No. I'd rather listen to Bud Kilmer address the West Canaan football team than
See, my problem is it doesn't start until after 9, and it goes really long.
He did 100 minutes.
It's long.
Apparently, 100 minutes.
I don't know how anybody stays awake for that long.
And of course,
That's
he had another racial slur in there, I was reading.
I must have missed that one.
You missed that one? He called Elizabeth Warren a certain name.
I didn't see it. Because maybe that was towards the end, because I watched about maybe 40 minutes of it, and then I had to go to. I had the baby, and she was getting fussy, and I went to sleep.
Was the baby digging the speech?
She was kind of.
Was she into it?
She's kind of out of it.
Or did she have a cross eyes?
She's
looking
got
at the TV.
I'll tell you, with the baby. Like, I don't mind changing diapers, but she's been having some explosions, man. I mean, it's not easy, dude.
Come on now.
It's not easy. I'll always yell to my wife, like, hey, babe, 2-person job. She's like, no, it's not. Yeah, 2-person job. I need some help.
No, you're doing it yourself, right?
I am, but it's.
But you don't like it.
I don't like with the messy ones. I don't like the messy ones.
I hear you.
But
what do you do? You get one of those handy wipes?
Yeah, you got the wet wipes. And it is funny when you have a baby, and I don't know if you remember when you had baby, but it
was really a long time.
It is funny how comfortable you are with smelling a butt.
Yeah, but
you know, like, did she go to the bathroom? Yeah, I think she did.
No, I never got comfortable.
You got no problem just smelling to see if she
never got comfortable with that, bro.
Well, she's a good little baby. She is.
Now you got Varsity Blues in my head because I made a reference.
What was that?
You named it Varsity Blues, the movie.
Yeah, I'm saying, what reference?
I said I'd rather listen to Bud Kilmer speak to the West Canaan football team in the locker room.
I missed the reference. I heard it, but I didn't get the reference. I forgot that. Is that John Voight's character?
Yeah.
All right. So I didn't remember that was his name.
Right. Are we back? Are we going back in time? Are we going back in time with that?
Ray, did you know that was the coach of Varsity Blues?
No.
So that's the thing. I didn't get the reference.
Well,
so I just laughed it off like I knew
Varsity Blues, a classic movie. I expect. Yeah, I've watched it 100 times.
You know what's crazy?
What?
As much as I love the program, as much as I love football
Blues,
I only saw it one time.
Oh man, Varsity Blues is excellent.
I only saw it once, and I didn't love. I don't know. Trying to picture Dawson's Creek as a starting quarterback was tough.
Mox was the backup.
I don't want your life.
That's right. It's what he said. That's pretty good for only watching it one time. So there was Mox, and he took over for who? Who was the starting quarterback?
I don't remember. Man.
It was Lance Harbor. Come on, man. It was Lance Harbor.
Maybe I got to go back and watch
and
it.
Her sister, he was dating his sister, Jules. And then there was Allie Larter, who was the whipped cream bikini.
Yes, I do remember that.
And then it was Tweeter, who is Scott Kahn. And then there was Billy Bob. And then it was Wendell, the black running back who Kilmer would never give the ball to score a touchdown.
That's
you remember that?
I do remember that. Now, that's like Saquon Barkley, but for different reasons, because we got the tush push.
Exactly. It's the Mike Missanelli Show on WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, BC Media Group station. And we're broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right, it is General Knowledge Wednesday. Do we have any calls right now? No calls?
Yes.
Oh, we do. Oh, who do we have on the line?
Zach on the line.
We also got the news at noon.
We got the news at noon, so we'll get to Zach after the news at noon. Ray Dunn, yeoman's work getting here from his road trip, play-by-play on the Temple Owls ladies basketball team, where they got a W. So what is it, 6 in a row, Ray?
6 in a row.
6 in a row. And Ray Dunn, the lucky charm for the Owls, and they're going to go into the postseason. But now it is time for the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All righty. Ray Dunn digging out the stories that make us smile, make us frown, or just make us listen to it because it's about sports. Ray, what do you got for today?
All right, I'm putting to bed. I'm going to say the greatest story in News at Noon history.
Uh-oh. This must be the media war.
He loves it.
This-
He loves it.
Will be the final installment of the Jordan Schultz and Ian Rappaport back and forth. I don't think I can drag this story out any further. Jordan Schultz does regular hits with 670 The Score out in Chicago. So after about 15 minutes of combine conversation, host decides it's time to ask Jordan Schultz about what went down. Layla Rahimi asking Jordan Schultz what happened out in Indianapolis.
What happened?
Yeah,
because
I
I've
was
seen
looking to talk
reports.
about Caleb Williams and the Bears and all these. Yeah, but then obviously, my name came up. I'm sure you saw that, right?
Yeah, and I wanted to give you a space to say anything if you needed to, because we've had you on the show many times over all of our shows on the station, and I feel like that's the right thing to do.
Well, I think what happened between Ian and I, probably have been brewing for quite some time, and I just felt like I needed to say what I said and make it clear that I didn't appreciate the way he was talking about me, and I felt I did that. And obviously, you saw the photo. I don't think the photo was particularly intimidating, but regardless of how you view it, I just felt like for me, it was an important thing to say, important to get it off my chest. I thought I did it, and hopefully can move forward.
Oh, well, there you go. Free coffee for all. I'm sending it to the station.
And free Uber stock, too, apparently.
Yeah, who's Layla Rahimi?
I believe the evening's host at 670 The Score.
Should I know who she is?
I was just shouting out who did the interview.
No. I'm just thinking, it sounds familiar. That
what
name sounds familiar.
Yeah, it sounds like Leah Remini, the actress.
Oh, that's the good from the
King of
Queens.
Yes. Also from Saved by the Bell back in the day.
Oh, there you go. I knew it was something that
What was her name? Stacey Carusi? Is that her name? She dated Zach Morris when they did the summer.
Stacey Carusi, and he doesn't know Varsity Blues. All right, Ray. So what's your spin on this whole thing? Jordan Schultz, did he put an end to it or no?
I mean, there's still no addressing the Uber stock rumor, which was kind of disappointing for me.
Why didn't they ask him? Why didn't Layla Rahimi from the King of Queens ask him?
It was Monday night, so I'm wondering if the clip about the Uber stock had made the rounds by the time this happened.
Oh, okay.
Though we knew about it by Monday. I don't know. I really want to know about the Uber stock.
Yeah, you got to ask specifically about the Uber stock there if you're the talk show host. All right, Layla, come on.
Well, that be
Layla.
If that was
got me on my knees,
Layla. Yeah. Wait, if that was actually proven that he was given Uber stock for scoops, is that illegal?
It's unethical. It's not illegal. It's unethical in the journalistic world, but there's paid journalism all over the place now.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think a lot of guys are probably doing something.
No, it's like sending a thank you card to a source.
A little more expensive than that, but yes.
Yeah, I hear you. But the guy's he's got some money. What's next, Ray?
All right, we're gonna go to your boy Abdul Carter, and a lot of Eagles fans have been begging for him to do one thing, and that's tank this past weekend at the Combine and begin to tank his interviews so the Eagles have a chance to get him. Abdul Carter, big Birds fan, no interest in doing such thing.
A lot of Eagles fans have joked that they want you to kind of hurt your rankings to drop all the way to 32. Once you get to a new team, will that Eagles fandom die out?
Yeah, we'll have to, unfortunately. But like I said, I'm just really enjoying my last year being a fan. And to all the Eagles fans, I'm sorry, but I'm not taking my stock.
Is this a way somehow to cast aspersions on a fine Penn State athlete, right?
No, I was just saying that it's not going to happen. I want to let people know because people have been asking for him to do it, and he's not going to do it.
Yeah, have you noticed that there's no Penn State knuckleheads in the league? Have you noticed that when you come from Penn State, you're not a knucklehead? Okay, give me a knucklehead that played at Penn State. Oh, you're gonna
I'm Googling it.
Penn State knuckleheads?
Haven't we made fun of Micah Parsons a number of times on
Well, is he a knucklehead?
I mean, he makes some asinine comments.
He plays hard. Is he a knucklehead? Is he saying I need to get out of Dallas? No, he's not saying that, is he?
Not yet.
No, I'm serious. Give me a knucklehead.
I'm trying to find.
You can't find anybody.
That's in the current NFL.
Saquon, the perfect player. Demeanor-wise, competitive-wise, not a knucklehead. He gets an extension. Give me a Penn State knucklehead. I know you guys through gritted teeth here trying to find a knucklehead.
Well, I mean, we don't have to go too far to talk about the whole Sandusky stuff. But we won't go there. We won't go there.
What's that have to do with a player being a knucklehead? Why would you bring that up?
I'm just saying.
What are you saying? Why?
You can't act like
it's an asinine thing to bring up.
You can't say
what Penn State player
mightier than thou with all that controversy.
I'm not saying, did you hear me say mightier than
or
thou?
holier than thou?
I said what player is a knucklehead from Penn State?
What, in the current NFL, probably none.
In the history of the NFL, what player has caused problems for Penn State?
People on YouTube are saying Kerry Collins.
What was a knucklehead? What did he do as a knucklehead in the NFL? What trouble he get into?
I don't know. Curtis Ennis, someone said on YouTube.
Wait, what knucklehead was he? It was an agent scandal who gave him suits. And plus, he wasn't a knucklehead in the league.
Listen, I got nothing negative to say since Saquon came from Penn State.
You got nothing.
Ray, back me up here. Anything?
Nothing.
You got anything?
Yeah, I mean, I really wasn't doing any research to try and find knuckleheads.
You guys just it makes your skin crawl when the goodness of Penn State comes up. Both of you. Jealousy because of the Gettysburg and this one from Temple.
Actually, I don't think it was. I was just bringing up the fact that Abdul Carter's not going to take his draft stock.
Yeah, I understand, but you're taking some kind of a backdoor shot.
I don't think he was.
Not really. No, I think this was just...
I mean, honestly, though, anyone that thought that Abdul Carter would do that just because he's an Eagles fan, going to lose millions and millions of dollars just to play for the Eagles? Nah.
No, that's not the way it works. All right. What's the last one? Deion Dawkins. This is our buddy we ran into at the airport.
That's correct.
Yeah, Temple man.
We did run into him at the airport.
Correct.
So Deion Dawkins went on Ryan Clark's podcast and was asked how quickly he got over the AFC Championship game loss and falling short one more time to the Chiefs. He said he got over it immediately, and then he watched the Super Bowl, and feelings have begun to change about that.
The immediate feeling was, it's over. What can we do? We lost. Time to go home. And now, with the time, it's like we would have put on a better show in the Super Bowl. We would have put on a better show. And shoot, I am a part of my team. So I think my team is going to put on the best show regardless of anybody performing. We are the ones. We put on the best show, and we perform at a high level. And I think now looking at it, it's like after going to the Super Bowl and seeing it and feeling those emotions, I'm like, damn, this is us. Like we would have did this. Not to say that we would have like went in there and just beat the Eagles, because it would have been we would have had a chance, and we would have had a better chance in my eyes.
Well, he's not wrong, as Bill would say.
Oh.
The Buffalo Bills would have been a better opponent for as far as competitiveness for the Eagles. He's the Temple proud. Deion Dawkins. He said that. I mean, I can't argue with anything he said there.
Right. No knuckleheads from Temple.
Well, listen, there have been some knuckleheads. One played here.
See, now, Deion Dawkins saying that, what Ray didn't play was Mike Florio saying to Andy Reid a couple days ago at the Combine, before the game was 24-0, it really could have gone either way.
Could have gone either way. Talk about the ultimate panda.
Could have gone either way.
What is he going to do? Is he going to bite your head off if you ask a tough question? 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
97.5 The Fanatics Knockout Tournament is back.
12:13, Mike Missanelli Show, General Knowledge Wednesday, and we'll get to our call. We have Zach coming on to play General Knowledge. It's only our third question. Bill is up 1-0 in this three-way battle between the audience, Bill, and Ray, and we're talking about a lot of other subjects, including the Eagles. And I expressed, I don't know if the chat board or the text board is expressing any concern, but I read a story about how wonderful Ranger Suarez pitched. It was 2 scoreless innings yesterday for the Phillies. And then I look at the fact that he topped off at 89 miles per hour on his fastball. And I'm going, well, that ain't good. And that's the bigger issue to me is that than 2 scoreless innings. I got news for you.
Yeah, I got news for you. I love when you say that because my grandma used to say that all the time growing up. Not that you're, old or anything. I'm not taking a shot at you. It wasn't meant that way.
Well.
She used to always say that.
I got a news flash for you.
I got news for you.
I got a news flash for you.
She used to always say.
Yeah, so the news flash is 89 miles an hour. How you feeling about that baseball, Bill?
So, interestingly, I just bumped into Ricky Batalico in the hallway.
Uh-huh.
And I asked him that very question.
Oh,
if he was worried at all about Rangers' lack of velocity.
Uh-huh.
He said not yet. He thinks the fact that Rangers probably going to be slotted in as the 5th starter and we're still a month away from his first start, that they're probably slowing him in and nothing to be concerned about yet.
Okay.
All right.
I think when you show up at spring training, you feel strong as a bull. And if you're throwing 89, you're not feeling strong as a bull. You haven't thrown anything yet. You got to cut it loose for the first time. You always have more zip.
I understand it. And look, I don't know what their plan is with him as much as like when I talk about the ramp up. But, he was said again through his interpreter, it's about being healthy for the whole year. So are they just looking at this as instead of him throwing hard to start spring training, we're going to slow roll you in? We're going to start to hopefully peak in the middle of the season as opposed to hitting a wall in June like he did last year. I don't know. I mean, it's something I understand your concern, but
Sixers lose last night. Grimes had a big game.
You didn't bet the game, right? Because I think it hit right on the line.
No, I didn't bet the game. I bet a college game that let me down last night. BYU defeated Iowa State. Everybody's jumping on that Iowa State bandwagon because they've been playing well lately, and they get spanked in overtime. But last night, oh, man, your squad took a hit. That's right.
Who's my squad?
The Flyers. How come I can't?
Oh, man.
Oh, the soundboard. Let's hear the hockey horn, Ray.
No horn.
Let's hear the horn.
No horn.
Yeah, not good last night, the hockey horn. The Flames.
No horn, man.
6 tallies against your Flyboys last night. You got an explanation for that? Is that a goaltender situation?
It was. Very, very questionable goaltending early from Samuel Ersson. He lets in 3 goals. I think it was on 5 shots, but 2 of them inexcusable. I mean, two of the goals early in that first period just can't happen. One of them was a deflection. All right, I'll give him that. But the other 2 were just weak, and then the Flyers actually battle back, make it 3-2, and then Fedotov, who came in, they pulled Ersson after 9 minutes. Fedotov lets in a weak goal, and the Flyers were just constantly chasing it. So I'm blaming goaltending. Look, the problem with this Flyers team, and it feels like it's been the problem with them for the last 25 years, is they lack a goaltender. They don't have a solid goaltender. Ersson should be a backup, and Fedotov should probably be on the Phantoms.
Oh, are you done talking about the I'm sorry.
Are we going this weekend?
Are you done?
You want to go on Sunday?
Are you done talking about the Flyers? Okay. Let's get to our callers. We got.
Is that it? Is that our hockey talk for the day?
Our hockey 30 seconds of the day. Let's get to Zach. Zach, welcome to the show on the phones. How are you?
Hey, Mike, can you hear me?
I got you, Zach. Oh, we got a clear as a bell
Mike,
line today, baby.
We're staying on topic. I called. I wanted to talk about that game last night.
Which one? The Flyers?
The Flyers game. Yeah, that horrendous showing of the Flyers.
All right. Well, go ahead. Yeah, talk about it. Tell me about the Flyers.
Hey, 3 goals, 5 shots on Ersson. Terrible. The third goal, terrible. That is an unexcusable goal. I don't even know how that gets let in. Then we bring in Fedotov, and we just keep getting crushed.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Not great goaltending last night.
We got the trade deadline coming up. We're in desperate need of a goalie. Or what do you think? We wait for
I think they need to acquire
Austin
Hayes. They need to acquire at the deadline.
Yeah, stop. They're probably going to I think Lawton's probably on his way
I
out.
love the way Bill is so enthusiastic about that.
Ristolainen's probably on his way out. I don't think they're going to bring in a goalie at the deadline. I think they're going to acquire more draft capital, and then we're going to
sing it, Bill.
see what happens this offseason.
Go ahead, buddy.
What am I singing here?
Well, yeah, but we're in desperate need of one here. I mean, we're getting screwed in goal.
Yeah,
I know, but I don't think
bro.
I don't think they're going to make a move to try to do a playoff push. I think they're going to look towards the future again.
They're a work in progress. What can I tell you, Zach?
Well, yeah, I understand the rebuilding. I mean, Kuzmenskov, that's a good pickup for Michkov. You know, we bring another Russian, put him on the line.
He had a big goal last night, right?
For a young guy.
Yeah.
He did. It's great. That line's been killing it recently, you know, both of them. I mean,
Mike can't
it's
take
hard
this
to
right
come
now.
from Russia
We
as
just
a
did
kid,
3
and
straight minutes of Flyers talk. Mike's about to
Zach, you ready for general knowledge?
fall off his chair.
Zach?
Oh, yeah, I'll try some general
All
knowledge.
right, Zach, American bands. Is this an American band or not? You got a 50-50 chance of getting it. If I say the Talking Heads, American or foreign?
American.
That is correct. All right, Zach, you hold on there. Hold on. Zach, on hold, gets the first audience question correct. So now he's tied with Bill. The audience is tied with Bill. All right, Ray, are you ready? American band or not? Def Leppard.
American.
Pour some sugar on me.
American.
You go American? That would be incorrect. Def Leppard is not an American band.
I would have said American too.
You would
right?
have, huh?
Yeah.
You know, I interviewed the one-armed drummer from Def Leppard.
They have a one-armed drummer. I didn't know that
They
either.
have a one-armed drummer. His name's Rick Allen. He lost his arm in a car accident and drummed with one arm for the rest of Def Leppard's careers.
That almost seems impossible.
Well, he pulled it off.
All right, give it to
Now,
me.
what would you ask? All right, this is when I was at WMMR, so I'm interviewing rock bands and such.
Yeah.
What would you got? Rick Allen, you're interviewing, one-armed drummer. How do you bring that up?
Well, I mean, he's clearly aware that he only has one arm, so I don't think it's a weird thing to bring
He is
up.
clearly, but how would you bring it up? You come up with the question.
Well, he started out as having two arms when he drummed.
Yes, and he lost an arm in a car accident.
He lost an arm in a car accident. I would probably say something along the lines of how impressive it is that he's continued his career.
Oh, you would compliment him,
and then ask him, how did how were you able to do this? What was the transition like? Clearly, you had to learn how to do it with one arm. Blah blah blah. I don't know. See what happens. See where he goes with it.
All right, Bill. Here's your question as we get into the break: American band or not?
All right, here we go.
Let's go with Imagine Dragons.
American.
Correct. Billy
in the lead.
Surges into the lead.
And I'm 2 up on Ray.
6320975 is how you get into the show. We'll go to the text board after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Saquon signs an extension. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Saquon Barkley signed a 2-year, $41.2 million extension to his original deal with the Eagles yesterday. This deal now takes him through the 2028 season in Eagles green. It makes him the highest paid running back ever. The running back market now clearing $20 million in average annual value with this extension that Barkley signed. In some way, somehow, this extension opening up cap flexibility for the Philadelphia Eagles ahead of next week's free agency in the NFL. It is legal tampering time come Monday, March 10th, and then everything really allowed to happen on March 12th. Elsewhere in Philadelphia sports, the 76ers lost 126-112 to the Timberwolves last night. Quentin Grimes had 30 points in the loss. The loss dropped the 76ers to 21-40, tied for the 6th worst record in the NBA. The Flyers lost 6-3 to the Flames. Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee returned to Philly for the first time since being traded away. Frost had 2 assists in the win for the Flames, and the loss for the Flyers ended a 5-game point streak. This update is brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? Drive high, get a DUI. A message from the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. I'm Ray Dunn in the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
12:28, Stone Temple Pilots, American or not?
American.
Yeah, you're right. They're your bands. Don't sell yourself
Maybe.
short.
I'm on fire today.
Ray, how do you feel about being referred to in that sounder there as the young Ray Dunn? Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Or is The
Fine.
The young Ray Dunn?
It's interesting that you brought that up. Because last night, my wife actually asked me when I got home, she said, why does that say the young Ray Dunn? Who decided to do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I said, I don't know.
To do that.
It was before the show started. I was considering going into rapping, and I was going to be Young Ray, and they decided to just keep it for the show for branding purposes in case I went into a hip-hop career.
Look at the big humor on Ray today.
Yeah, Ray, I think, had a long trip this morning. He seems a little bit...
You a little tired?
A little bit tired.
A little tired.
Yeah, a little
tired. I will say the Monday night in Charlotte didn't help, but...
Ray had a good night on Monday in Charlotte, he said.
Oh, you did? Would you go out and go crazy?
I didn't intend to.
You went out with the traveling crew?
No, so that was it. I was like, I went to this beer garden last year when we were in Charlotte. I'll just walk down there.
You went by yourself?
Yeah. Oh, I could do that all the time.
Hung out by yourself and went to the beer garden? Did you meet any people?
Well, that's what happened. I sat down at the beer garden. It was dead, except for like two people sitting a couple seats down from me. They were bartenders that had been cut earlier in the night.
Yeah.
And they took interest in the fact that someone was there on a Monday night, and they had never seen me before.
They came over and chatted you?
They didn't just come over and chat. They just comped everything.
They bought you beer all night?
Beer, some other things.
Wow.
Nice night by Ray.
They took me to another bar. I had a great time with
you
these
got pounded
people.
a little bit on Monday in Charlotte.
I had a couple.
What time did you get up? Tuesday.
Tuesday.
8:30.
8:30.
Breakfast at 9. Yeah.
Man.
No, I was
stamina.
up.
See, these young kids, they got stamina they can drink. I just can't drink anymore. It's just
me either, man.
defeats it. It
I
defeats
can't.
me. Even with all those muscles, it doesn't absorb the alcohol.
I don't really drink anymore, man.
Huh?
And it just
bad for you, Bill. You gotta have a protein shake.
Yeah, but it's also like
that alcohol breaks you down.
It's the next day, like you said. Like if I have a couple drinks, I'm struggling the next day.
Yeah. Ray, do we have anything on our text board? It was the first time we've gone to the text board, I believe, today. And I know there's got to be some text there with our 610-632-0975, where today you can actually call in. And it's General Knowledge Wednesday, so we invite many calls. Ray, what do you got on text board?
We had a texter that was mirroring a conversation we got in, or mirroring a comment we got on the conversation surrounding CJ GJ.
Yeah.
That all the people who said yesterday they want their sports announcers to have objectivity are liars if they get their feelings hurt when you talk about CJ GJ.
Yeah. So this is something that I asked. As a sports talk host, how would you have handled the CJ GJ situation? Now, let's go through the sequence, Bill. The first post, I know you've been citing that most of the day. Out of the blue, we start talking about Saquon, and all of a sudden this post comes out, and it's CJ Gardner-Johnson saying what, Bill? Do you have that?
So the first tweet came out about 2 hours ago, and it's CJ Gardner-Johnson saying, "You would think feelings would be mutual after a great season, but I, Twin, keep that bleep solid."
All right, so our interpretation was, well, if it comes on the heels of Saquon Barkley contract extension, maybe C.J. Gardner-Johnson was feeling a little, put off by nobody came to him about the contract extension, and we're all family, and after a season like that, maybe I deserved it. However, he comes out with a second post.
Actually, and before we get to the second one, there was one right before the one I just read that said, "The slick sneak dissing is crazy."
The slick
sneak dissing. So I think he's saying, like,
dissing.
you're dissing me and you're trying to be slick about it.
So we can still interpret that as maybe he's a little jelly about the contract, and that was a diss, but he comes now out with the second post, which says,
"This is nothing about our team. Trust, we good." And then he responds to a reporter talking about the contract saying, "Bro, this has zero to do with the contract. Please stop spreading fake news."
Okay, well, he's trying to spread some kind of news, and so we figured out that it might be this, because Darius Slay on a podcast said something about, when asked about who the leader will be now if he leaves the Eagles, who do you think is going to be the leader in that defensive backfield? And here's what he had to say.
I do got a great leadership role in that secondary room, but I won't be surprised if Reed and them guys like Reed can, advance these guys. Reed being around me and a lot of other veterans that have been here before, and I'm sure he could lead that group the right way. So that's who I feel will be leading the group if I ain't in that building is Reed Blankenship, because he's a great leader. You know what I'm saying? He is a great damn leader. If they bring another veteran in that's already been playing a lot, I can see them coming in and being a leader as well. But for sure, if I'm not in that room, Reed Blankenship, will be a great, tremendous leader, a great one. And,
wow.
I'm going to miss it.
So he chose one safety over the other, and now we can put two and two together that maybe the slick diss was Slay. And CJ, say, come on, man.
That's what it would sound like, because that soundbite from Slay comes out this morning, and the slick sneak dissing is crazy. It does sound like that's what he's talking about. If I had to put money on one or the other, I'd say it's less about the Saquon contract and probably about what Darius Slay had to say.
Sleek sneak diss. In any way you slice it, it has something to do with the team. So, again, I asked the question to the people, how, as a sports talk host, would you have handled this situation? How would you have brought it up? In what context would you have brought it up? Because it's easy to take a shot at the media trying to cause trouble. It's another thing when I reverse the question on you, what you would have done. Now, are we getting any feedback on the chat board, Bill, over this?
On the YouTube chat, someone had a great one earlier, and it was a long time ago. Let me see. I'm going to ask them to weigh in again on what they think we should do on the YouTube chat, and I'll read some of them when they come in. So, actually, Dave on YouTube says he just prefers hearing from athletes at scheduled press conferences, but that doesn't answer whether or not we should.
Well, in this day and age, you're going to hear on social media from people. Like, you're just not going to hear press conferences. You're going to hear from them all the time in this social media age. They post all the time. That's why we follow most of them.
Yeah, it's and people are guessing on YouTube, too, saying that the twin part of it is probably insinuating that it is a secondary member. Like, when you say twin,
well,
you're talking about Darius Slay.
It could mean any one of your teammates.
Yeah. It's interesting. But then, I think Dave's taking a shot out at us.
All right, listen, take your shot. That's fine.
Not Randy saying, wait, hold on. Who wrote it? Let me just see.
Whoever wrote it, you can take shots. That's why I asked you how. But if you're going to take a shot, then tell me how you would have handled it.
Yeah, because Dave says, how many entries on the show sheet say read tweets? No. It's not that we're just reading tweets. This is a pretty big deal, isn't it?
It's a talking point. That's what I'm saying. Folks, make yourself a sports talk host. Tell us how you would have presented that. It's a definite talking point. When an Eagle player posts something like that, you go, okay, well, what's that about? So I'm being honest. I'm going to step back. You tell me how you would have handled that. That's all I want.
Yeah, and if CJ Gardner-Johnson didn't want people talking about it, whoever twin is, send him a text. Don't tweet at him.
Yeah,
so it's only between the two of you.
Exactly. All right, and we'd love to talk to you in a conversation about it as well. So text or convo at 610-632-0975. That's how you get into the Mike Missanelli Show. Back after this.
Andrew Salciunas.
If you could snap your fingers and put an
It's 1240, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, here's what I'm going to do with General Knowledge. I'm going to give y'all a shot first. And then if the audience wants to participate, they can participate. But right now, Bill is up 2-0 on the whole field.
Audience has
only on Ray. I'm up 2-0 on Ray. The callers had the 1.
Oh, the callers had the 1? Oh, that's right. So it's 2-1 on the audience, 2-0 on Ray. So, Ray, I'm going to give you first serve here on the general knowledge, and I'm feeding right into your intelligence. Ray, what is often expressed as A squared plus B squared equals C squared?
Is that the Pythagorean theorem?
That is correct. The Pythagorean theorem. Now, Bill, did you have that?
I don't think I would have got it.
Really?
And that's right. That plays right into the 1500
isosceles
SAT.
triangle. That's the isosceles triangle, Bill.
Yeah.
2 sides equal to big side.
Of course, Ray gets that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ray gets a notch in.
Right.
Now, are you ready?
I'm
your
ready.
General knowledge
I'm
question?
ready. Screen's been lowered. I'm not checking YouTube.
Bill, to the nearest whole number, what is the fatality rate of rabies upon the onset of symptoms?
You're kidding, right?
I am not kidding.
I gotta know a number.
The nearest whole number, what is the fatality rate of rabies upon the onset of symptoms?
1%.
You couldn't be further off.
99%.
100%.
People die at 100% of
100%. The fatality rate of rabies upon the onset of symptoms.
Wow, I wouldn't have known that. Ray, you wouldn't have gotten that, would you?
No, I would have jokingly hit the 4 sounder, and that would have been it for me.
I gotta be honest though. I mean, this is up for protest.
Oh, shut up.
How's that?
That's a ridiculous question.
I understand I'm sleep deprived.
What is a ridiculous question about it?
I think you should at least give me a multiple choice.
You should have figured out that with 100%, if I said to the nearest whole number, what's the fatality rate? What could it possibly be? It couldn't be anything but 100%. You could have guessed 40%. You would have been 60% off.
Well, here's the crazy thing.
They're giving you the answer by phrasing that question.
I have never heard of a person dying of rabies.
Because most people get the shot. When you get bitten by a dog, you immediately get a shot. You don't wait for rabies to take your life.
That's a ridiculous question. If I lose, it's up for protest.
This is the first ridiculous question you've heard on General Knowledge Wednesday.
It's up for protest.
This is the first ridiculous one you've heard.
It's ridiculous.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that all of a sudden, guy gets in the game, he's got some complaints about the questions. He's nice and quiet reading his chat board. Anytime I get a question that I think's ridiculous.
But I love that now. Evan on YouTube's taking a shot at me saying New Jersey must have low standards for passing the bar exam. Yeah, because the question on the bar exam is the fatality rate of rabies.
Right under where you write your name.
Let's look at this logically. The question is, to the nearest whole number, what's the fatality rate of rabies upon the onset of symptoms? Now, do you think the answer to that would be other than 100%? That's why they're giving it's 100%. That's why it's a question. Like, they wouldn't have you guess 44. No. Like, you would have a million wrong guesses before you got to the right guess.
That's why I said 1%, because I'm thinking with modern technology in 2025, I was way off.
All right, let's get back to the text board. The chat. I love the chat taking shots at you, though.
Hold on, I want to just see how many people die of rabies.
Now he's got to check it.
Okay.
He always has to check the answer.
But according
the people, the experts that put these questions together don't have the right answer. Bill has to have the right answer.
According to the World Health Organization, an estimated 59,000 people die from rabies each year globally. The majority of rabies deaths occur in Africa and Asia. So how many people have died in the United States of rabies in the last decade?
We have the medicine to prevent death.
Fewer than 10. Fewer than 10 each year. I mean, come on.
When you get bit by that's why they have rabies. Your pets have to be vaccinated.
Fewer than 10 human deaths are reported each year in the United States. Oh, my God.
All right. So today, there's a 4-pack of tickets to the Body Worlds exhibit at the Franklin Institute. And you play for a spot in our knockout tournament. So if you get a question correctly today, you'll qualify for those 2 prizes. That's pretty damn good.
That is good. It is good. The Body Works. Wait, Body
Worlds.
Body Worlds. I've been. It's worth it. It's
Body
worth
Worlds. Yeah, that's a good prize. And James from Philly is going to take advantage of it. Let's hear from James. James, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, it was a long time, Mike.
What's happening, man? Thanks for calling in. I know we've had some problems with the phones. It's throwing people off, but thanks for persevering.
Oh, man, you have no idea. I feel like I was getting like I was waiting for the rubber glove to come out. I'm like, what's next with the questions? But anyway, Mike.
Yes, sir.
You were saying no knuckleheads from Penn State. You know what I mean?
Yeah? What knucklehead?
So I Googled it. No, there's none. You're right. Also, no starting quarterbacks from Penn State in the league.
Well, there was Terry Collins.
He's talking about current. Yeah, it's current.
I mean,
current? Well, there's a lot of colleges that don't have starting quarterbacks in the NFL. There's only 32 starting quarterbacks.
Saquon's new nickname should be the aberration.
For what? Why? Because
he's the only good player from Penn State in the NFL.
Oh, he's the only good player. Really?
Yeah,
how about the tight ends in the league? How about Chris Godwin? He stinks. How about the offensive linemen that are in the league? They're terrible, aren't they?
Wait, Chris Godwin's getting cut. Isn't he getting cut from Tampa?
No, he's not getting cut. He's a free agent, and they're going to re-sign him. Do you know how many Penn State players you think are in the NFL right now?
None that I can think of.
Really?
None that are any good.
Really? None that are any good? So the tight ends are no good that have played in this league?
Name 5.
Gesicki and what's the other guy who played for the Steelers?
Exactly.
Well, no, he's a good tight end. Well, I just can't get his name.
Mike, you know I'm domestic. You know that, right, Mike?
I do, but you get.
He's very sensitive when it comes to the Nittany Lions.
How about the Micah Parsons? Any good? I don't know. He might be any good.
He's a knucklehead though.
He's not a knucklehead. That's the point. There are no knuckleheads.
He's a wannabe Eagle. But Mike.
What? What are you breaking my stones? Call up and break my balls today.
Mike, you know that's exactly what I'm doing. All
right, go ahead.
Come on, man.
Go ahead.
Dude, I am so happy they signed this kid to an extension. I'm so happy. Saquon.
Yeah, of course.
They did the right thing. And it was, you know what I mean? It was no BS. It's just, they got it done. And I'm very happy they did that. He is he's not only, you know what he is, Mike? He's like a football savant. You know what I mean?
I totally agree with you, man.
He's born. That kid was born to play football, and I guarantee he could play. That kid. I mean, he could play. He's one of them kids. I mean, I grew up. I didn't go obviously play in the NFL. I played D3, but not bragging. But there's certain guys. He could play any position. You know what I mean? In a sense, we're like.
Where'd you play?
At.
What D3 school did you play at?
Del Valle.
Okay,
good program.
I was Gettysburg.
They were. Well,
the head coach at Del Valle was in my class once.
How about this? The guy who recruited me, I played DN. The guy who recruited me, the D coordinator, he died while he was recruiting me. So maybe that was the sign.
So was the head coach Duke?
No.
No, he wasn't. Who was your head coach there?
No. The guy I told you, I never. Mike.
What? Hi. I'm here. Go ahead. What happened to him? Where'd he go?
Oh, we didn't get to good general knowledge with him.
Oh, you know how many Penn State players in the NFL right now? Within 5. Let me tell me. What do you think?
32.
Wow, it's actually pretty good. I think you're right on it. I think it's 35. Actually,
that was pretty close.
I think it's like more than 35.
Pretty close.
I'll count them after this. I got a list. I know you're interested to hear. But my man couldn't get to break my stones, and he didn't get a general knowledge question. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Saquon signs an extension. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Saquon Barkley signed a 2-year, $41.2 million extension with the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday. That will take him through the 2028 season. Also makes him the highest paid running back ever. The running back position getting over $20 million for the average annual value of this contract. Reset the market there. And for the Eagles, somehow, some way, once again, Howie Roseman does it. It opens up cap flexibility ahead of free agency next week. For the Birds, legal tampering period opens Monday, March 10th. That is next Monday before everything opens up for good on March 12th, as the Eagles now with a little bit more room to operate after making the extension with Saquon Barkley. 76ers lost 126-112 to the Timberwolves last night. Quentin Grimes had 30 points. The loss drops the Sixers to 21-40 on the season, tied for the 6th worst record in the NBA. Flyers lost 6-3 to the Flames last night. Morgan Frost, Joel Farabee returned to Philly for the first time since being traded away. Frost had 2 assists in the win for Calgary. The loss ended a 5-game point streak for the Flyers. This update is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Ray Dunham, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
12:56. Mike Missanelli Show, General Knowledge Wednesday. If you want to get in, yes, we can accommodate you today. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. You know, a lot of people are asking me a lot of questions. What's the deal with this phone thing? And a lot of people go, well, there was a rumor out there that we decided we weren't taking calls anymore. No, we weren't taking calls because we were physically incapable of taking calls. And as it turned out, see, here's the chicken or the egg thing, Bill. What caused this whole meltdown was that they tried to reboot it, reboot the system, which is required every now and then.
Yeah, I think they were upgrading some things.
Yeah, and in rebooting the system, it melted down. So, in other words, we had a system that needed to be updated anyway. So it's like the chicken or the egg. Had you not tried to refresh it, we wouldn't have had the problems. However, there would have been probably a meltdown down the road.
Correct.
So by trying to refresh it, we melted down, and now we know what the problem is. We need a whole new system, and it has to be done now. Now, corporations are funny. They don't like to spend money for stuff that they don't think they need. So they probably would not have put down the resources to redo the whole system, right?
Yeah, but I mean, looking for the silver lining, I'm glad it happened now, where it's a little bit of a slower time period. I mean, this would have been terrible if it happened like Super Bowl week.
Well, but you know, I'm sure you will be fully on board by the time the Eagles play the first game.
That's a good, yes. I mean, we should be fine now going forward. I mean,
yes, we're able to take calls. They have put in a temporary system where we're able to take calls, but we won't. I don't have the calls in front of me.
Yeah, it's a little bit different behind the scenes, but to the caller, they won't know the difference.
Right. Normally, I punch up the call. I have a list of the people that are on hold, and I go to them by pushing a button. Now, this is a Ray thing. Ray has to get communication from the people who are answering the phones and going through the process of vetting the people, and then they plug it into Ray, and then Ray plugs it into me in my ear. It's a fascinating system.
Fascinating system, but we're up and running. We're functional, which is all we could ask for. Some news, Mike, not huge breaking news, but I know Eagles fans out there are already thinking, well, should the Eagles consider him? Looks like Tyler Lockett's leaving Seattle. Obviously, had a lot of success in Seattle, wide receiver. And now news has been reported Christian Kirk is getting released by the Jaguars, another potential wide receiver. But I don't think the Eagles need a wide receiver.
Well, I think Lockett is a very reliable player. I know he's old, and for what they would use him, that might be a perfect counterbalance. Like, and I hate to be saying I'm nosing out my Penn State boy.
Nah, I don't see them doing it. Look, Dotson I thought was good enough. I thought he was good enough last year. He's younger. You still got him on his rookie deal, if I'm not mistaken, right? What's Jahan Dotson's contract situation?
I think he got him. Yeah,
I'm looking now. Yeah, so he's under contract for 2025 as well. Cap hit's nothing. It's like $2.8 million. I don't think you do anything at wide receiver. There are other needs that this team has.
I got you.
But let me ask you when we talk about other needs.
Uh-huh.
I think you and I both agree our priority would be Zach Bond, right? Of your own free agents.
No question about it.
If you could only sign one other of your own free agents, who would you like to see them sign?
Milton Williams, but that's unrealistic, so I would go back then.
I think you and I are in lockstep here. I agree.
Milton Williams, you can't. I mean, he would be my preference, but you probably can't sign him. So the second choice would be Beckton.
Yeah, I think Milton Williams is going to price out.
You're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show on WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right, I asked you a question a little earlier about how many Penn State players are in the league.
Yes.
And you said 32.
Yes.
You are wrong.
I did a little research during the break as well. And I think it depends on what website you're getting your information from.
I count 50 players, Penn State players, are in the NFL.
So according to SportsIllustrated.com, they got 49. Which is on
same in the ballpark.
But then according to SpotRack, that does a good job with contracts, they only have 37 active Penn State players. So I don't know. But even assuming, let's go with SI.com. They got Penn State with 49 active players, which would come in 7th in the NFL in terms of colleges. Can you name the 6 above them?
Let's go to the SEC. Georgia.
Correct. They're number 5.
Alabama.
Number 1.
Florida. Wait a minute. Let me go to the ACC. Clemson.
Incorrect.
Really?
Clemson is not even in the top 10.
Ooh, Florida.
Florida is 10th.
Florida State.
Not in the top 10.
Texas.
Not in the top 10.
Oh, man. Not in it. Well, who? Give me them.
All right, so number 1, Alabama. Number 2, Ohio State. You missed that one.
Ohio State.
When you talked about the SEC, you missed LSU, number 3.
LSU.
Michigan, number 4.
Michigan, I should have got that.
Georgia, number 5. Brendan Gunn's favorite school, Notre Dame, number 6, with 52 active players. And then number 7, Penn State. Number 8 may be a little surprising. Washington.
Yeah.
Number 8.
Good program at that. They produce some pros.
And then rounding out the top 10, Oklahoma, 9th, and Florida and Oregon are tied at 10.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out if it is 49 Penn State players, what percentage of the league is that? That's like 16% of the league.
53 times 32.
I did 60 because of the practice squad. 60 times 32 gives you 1,920 players in the NFL. So you divide 50 by 1920, right? Or 32 by 1920. Is that the way you get the percentage? I think so.
Yeah, it's like, what, 3%?
It's 16%.
Hold on.
It's 16%.
50 divided by 1920.
Yeah. No, 32 divided by 1920. 32 teams, not 50.
No, but there's 50 players.
There's 60 players. I've already done that. 60 players times 32 equals 1920.
Yeah, and then you're dividing that by the 50 players that Penn State has.
You're right. I'm sorry. So, yeah. So how much is that? 3%? That's more than 3%. 50 divided by 1920?
I don't know. Ray?
2.6%.
Yeah, because I said a little under 3%.
How could it possibly be? 50. That's
50
that's only 3%?
Yeah, of 1,920? To be like 30%, it would have to be like 600, right?
That's nothing then. Never mind.
I just want the record to reflect. If I would have messed up the math that badly, we would have spent 5 minutes talking about Alabama.
I did it by 32 for some reason. I got 16%. It was like 50. I don't know.
You got all confused.
That's the 32 at the teams. All right. So, Ray, what's the text board saying? Anything?
Yeah, Ryan from Delco texted in earlier about the CJ Gardner-Johnson string of tweets saying that CJ is proving Slay's point by tweeting those things out.
That he's not a leader.
Yes.
Because if you're a leader, you don't tweet that out, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of interesting that Slay would be the one who talked about what should and shouldn't be tweeted or discussed in public. Because I know Slay is loved inside the NovaCare complex. I know he was voted a captain, but he hasn't always been the best when it comes to what he says following games. You remember the Christmas Eve night game against Dallas when they let up that long bomb to lose the game? And Slay made it known it wasn't him. It was it Josiah Scott? Who did he blame?
I think it was Josiah Scott. That's a good poll by you.
Right?
I was trying to figure out who it was that he was blaming for that.
Yeah, so Slay, I mean, come on. He's not like the best when it comes to that either.
But he wasn't saying he was a leader. He was saying that the new leadership, like he wasn't touting himself like that. I was the biggest leader. Nobody else could lead. He was actually throwing a bone to his boy Reed, and he wasn't throwing a bone to CJ Gardner-Johnson. Now, what does that? I don't know. What does that mean? Could that meant that they had friction? Or is it was just an innocuous thing that Slay said because he believes that much in Reed Blankenship?
Yeah, I mean, Chauncey could be looking too much into it because Slay could also easily say, well, Chauncey was already a leader. You were asking who's going to step up to be leader when I'm gone.
Well, Slay's going to get word of this, right? So, here's the thing about podcasts. I love them because we do Sports Talk Radio, but they're the devil. They're just the devil. Those guys are like unfettered. They're free to say anything because they don't realize that what they say on that little podcast is going to go beyond that podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, but Chauncey tweeting had to know this was going to cause some sort of firestorm, right?
Oh, Chauncey do it? Chauncey wants to cause the firestorm. I mean, that's his MO. He loves that kind of thing. You fed right into him.
I'll tell you, though, I got to give Eagles fans credit because they accepted CJ back with open arms, even though he said he hated us.
Yes, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I mean,
I can't stand those mother bleepers. Is what I think he said.
It's what he said.
Called us obnoxious.
Exactly. Yes. And he, listen, I like that he's part of the team, and I think that most Eagle fans do. But I still haven't gotten an answer, at least on the YouTube chat. Are they saying anything? How would they have handled the CJ GJ tweet?
Meaning as a media member.
As the sports talk host. How would you have handled that? Because I know I expected that we were going to get murdered. Oh, there they are trying to cause trouble again, and that's what came out early. So I'm going to turn it back on people. Okay, what would you have done? 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Tyrone Johnson.
I don't understand the.
It's 111, Mike Missanelli Show. So the score in general knowledge today. where you are playing for a spot in our knockout tournament. Also, a 4-pack of tickets to Body World's exhibit at the Franklin Institute, which people tell me is amazing. I've never been. Bill has been there. Bill also has an upcoming trip. Well, he has to have an upcoming trip to Disney World. Bill has 3 children now and has never been to Disney World with your 2 other ones.
Yeah, I asked you during the break.
Yeah, you need to explain how you got away with not going to Disney World so far. How old are your kids?
So my daughter's 10.
10?
My son's 6.
And 6.
And then obviously the 7-week-old. But we decided to kind of, instead of doing the full-blown parks and that whole exhausting trip, we bought ourselves some time. We did a Disney cruise last October.
And
they loved it. The kids loved it.
And how did you like it?
Couldn't stand it. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I've been on a few cruises in my life, and I enjoyed them back when I was in high school and college. I can't stand cruises now. I don't like being told what time I get to an island and when I have to leave the island and what I'm doing at certain points. I get, like, stir crazy. I like going on vacation, renting a car, and doing my own thing. If I want to stay here for 4 hours, I'm going to stay here for 4 hours. If I want to leave, I want to leave. But that Disney cruise, waiting in line for breakfast and all that, the kids loved it, though, so we faked it. Me and my wife, they don't know we hated it.
Well,
unless they're listening.
Disney World has got to be on your agenda soon then, right? Or will you wait for the youngest one to grow up a little bit?
Well, that's what I got to figure out. Like, do we do a trip now while my daughter's still relatively young, 10 and 11?
She might outgrow it in 4 years.
And then just, deal with the youngest not understanding. I think we're going to have to bite the bullet.
Be dating some muscle heads in school by 14, right?
I'm not looking forward to that.
Oh, what kind of dad will you be when somebody comes calling to date your daughter? She gets to be like 16, and
I'll be all right as long as they're as long as they're a nice guy, they're respectful.
Will you grill them? Will you what will you do? Will you? You will just.
I'm not going to be like too intimidating, but I'll make sure they know. Like,
well,
this is my baby girl.
What would you do? Like, what would you say? Are you a good driver? Do you know how? What questions would you ask the kid?
I don't know. I haven't thought that
Does your family make any money? Like, would you go there?
Well, she's only 10, so I haven't had to think about it. But
let's think about it now, Ray. Ray, if you're,
I'm not thinking about it.
No,
Ray's the type of kid that will be coming over.
Think about it for Bill. Like, if you're Bill, what kind of dad would you be? Protect the daughter, knowing Bill's personality, knowing he's Mr. Protein Shake, muscle man, and here comes this little squirt. Going to take out his daughter.
You can tell that he hasn't put any thought into it because he hasn't admitted to himself that he's going to be one of those.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to be.
How much you bench? Yeah, that's the first question you would
That's
ask.
Actually probably he's going to drop some sort of line. Like,
I don't know.
I can outbench you.
I don't know how I'm going to be.
You see this physique? I've been working on this physique for years. You touch my daughter, and you're going to learn just how strong I am.
I'll squash your head like a grape, kid.
No, I'll be nice. I'm not going to embarrass her. Oh man, I'm not looking forward to it.
How did I get to Disney World? Oh,
I don't know. But some more breaking news as we're breaking news.
Wait, you got more breaking news today?
A lot of wide receivers on the move. So we talked about Tyler Lockett's getting released from the Seahawks.
Yeah.
We got Christian Kirk getting released from the Jags, and now DK Metcalf has requested a trade, and the Seahawks have agreed to explore options. Sources tell Rap Sheet.
Oh, that's a shame you couldn't pair him with AJ and DK, but that spot's already taken. So
where did DK go to school? Same school, didn't he?
DK went to Mississippi State.
Yeah, they're all Miss guys.
Yeah,
but DK
trying to cover those two dudes. How did they lose again?
No, they're not Ole Miss.
Oh, one's a Mississippi State.
Wait, DK was University of Mississippi.
AJ
That's Ole
is
Miss.
That is Ole Miss.
Yeah, but I thought AJ was not Ole Miss.
He was Ole Miss.
Yeah, they're both Ole Miss. They were both in the. Yeah,
you're right. They both were Ole Miss.
So
Sorry about
they're
that.
covering those two beasts. How did anybody do it?
They probably could.
Who was their quarterback, for crying out loud?
Was it Chad Kelly? Were they
really? He should have been a superstar, whoever it was.
I think it was
that
Chad
quarterback
Kelly.
not be a stud?
I'm not positive. I think
those
it was Chad
two
Kelly.
dudes.
Yeah, I don't know. You would think that should be relatively easy to quarterback those guys. And when we praise Howie Roseman, when the name DK Metcalf comes up, it's hard to forget about J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
What was J.J. Arcega-Whiteside doing now, you think? J. Arcega. It was Arcega, not Arcega. Ortega, because that was the Spanish pronunciation. Do you
Say
know that?
what he's up to these days. I'll tell you, he was awesome in the preseason, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he was playing for the Toronto Argonauts.
Oh, there you go.
Last season, April of 2024, he retired. So he was playing in the Canadian Football League up until last season.
He had like Hank Basket type ability.
Hank Basket. Remember Hank Basket was dating the Playboy model? Or he's married to
Kendra.
her. Yeah, he was married to her.
Kendra Wilkinson. Yeah, they were on the reality show together when he was an Eagle.
That's right.
I used to watch that show.
That's right. I remember I was working down there at the time, and she would be around a lot.
What's the dumbest show you've ever watched that you're ashamed of?
Oh. Probably the Jersey Shore.
That's right. That's right on my list, but that's second.
And I was actually entertained by it on the first couple seasons.
I turned down a call from my daughter once. She
Just
called me,
because
was
the Jersey
calling.
Shore was
I
on.
texted her, go, I'll call you right back. I'm watching Jersey Shore. She never lets me forget it.
I was into it in the beginning. Another dumb show.
Here's my number one. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
I've never watched any of those.
Yeah, that was my number one. Jersey Shore second.
Now, you know what show I stopped watching because I think it's getting out of control, but I think this could be classified as a dumb show. People may kill me for it, is Cobra Kai.
Yeah, that's
Did you watch Cobra Kai?
Netflix, right?
Yeah, Ray, did you watch
I'm
Cobra
pretty sure
Kai?
that Salciunas is a big fan of that show.
Well, if you grew up watching The Karate Kid, like I was obsessed with The Karate Kid as a child, this was cool to see. Like, oh, Johnny Lawrence and Daniel-san. But it's got a little out of control.
Let's recycle here, general knowledge, so you guys can get a question, and then the audience can catch up. Right now, Bill's in the lead, 2-1 to 1. Are we back in general knowledge? No, I just gave.
No, we just did general knowledge. I think we're movie actors.
We're back to the
we're actresses.
Oscar Best Actresses. Okay, Bill.
I'm up.
Yes, you are up.
I'm 3 for 3 in this category.
You are pretty good in this category. Okay. In 2011, The Blind Side, this woman won the Oscar for for Black Swan. 2011, Black Swan.
Natalie Portman.
That is correct. Oh, man. All right. Ray, have you seen the movie $1 Million Baby?
No.
Okay. Have you seen the movie Silver Linings Playbook?
Yes.
That's too easy. That's a Philly movie. You can't give him that.
Too easy.
He should have to answer.
Ray, 2010. This actress won the Oscar for The Blind Side. Who was it?
Sandra Bullock.
There you
That's
go.
so easy. And the answer to the other one was Hilary Swank.
Yes, Hilary Swank. So,
Yeah.
Bill 3, Ray 2, audience 1.
That's not fair. A sports movie should not have been qualified in general knowledge.
It's not really a sports movie, is it?
This guy
Blind
plays
Side?
one game.
The Blind
and
Side?
He's
Yeah.
got all the complaints in the world.
How about that Blind Side, though? Turned out to be a little bit of a
Fiction?
fiction. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Saquon signs an extension. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Saquon Barkley signed a 2-year, $41.2 million extension with the Philadelphia Eagles. As reported yesterday, this deal will take him through the 2028 season. It makes him the highest paid running back ever, coming off of the record-breaking season that he had that led to an Eagles Super Bowl. This, somehow, someway, opened up cap flexibility for the Eagles ahead of free agency next week. The legal tampering period in the NFL opening up on Monday, and then next Wednesday, everything really opening up for good. But Monday at noon, you'll start to get the news of where guys are headed. And now the Eagles with some more cap flexibility after signing Barkley to this extension. Elsewhere in Philadelphia sports, the 76ers lost 126-112 to the Timberwolves. Quentin Grimes had 30 points in the loss. The loss dropped them to 21-40, tied for the 6th worst record in the NBA. Flyers lost 6-3 to the Flames last night. Morgan Frost, Joel Farabee returned to Philly for the first time since being traded away. Frost had 2 assists in the Calgary's win. The loss for the Flyers ended a 5-game point streak. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz is hard to believe, but it's real. From the leather stitching to the iconic design, every element of Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
126. The Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic. We feel freedom here because we were notified before the show that our phone lines have opened a little bit. It's not full blast, but a new system will be coming our way, and there'll be all kinds of upgrades. This studio is going to be like fancy schmancy.
Yeah, we're functional now, but you're right. We're going to be even fancier soon enough.
Yeah, it'll be very cool. So if you want to call in right now, and we've had several calls today, breaking the ice after 5 days without calls. 610-622-0975. We got, of course, our YouTube chat, and we got our text board that have been up consistently. We appreciate the people that got to us on this text board for the last several days. Right?
Yeah, text board's
we have
been
any
great.
new text that
We do.
Okay, let's hit our text board.
Troy from Frankfurt. We can't gloss over the fact Slay skipped right over CJ to anoint an outside veteran as a better leader. Slay also trashed CJ on Parsons' podcast last season. I can see where the tension would come from. You guys talking about it is not an issue at all. It's just beef between Slay and CJ. Honestly, it's entertaining but inconsequential.
And I didn't know that they were beefing. I think that Slay likes Blankenship a lot, and he wanted to throw him a bone. I don't think he was intentionally trying to put down CJ GJ. I think the problem is with CJ Gardner-Johnson's interpretation of the whole thing. Normally, I would blame Slay, but not in his case. I think that it was kind of an immature reaction. And somebody said that somebody else was a leader. That doesn't mean they don't think highly of you as a player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm trying to put it into perspective for me, putting myself in his shoes. If you were interviewed and you were talking about how great Ray Dunn was,
and not you,
and you didn't mention me, I still don't think I would take it personally. I'd be like, all right, he's using this as an opportunity to promote Ray.
No, I think you would take it personally. I
don't take anything personally.
I think that you're entitled to kind of take it personally, but I don't think the person would have meant the harm.
I'm just looking at the ages. All right, Reed Blankenship's 26. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is 27. All right, so maybe, because I was thinking, well, maybe he's just trying to build up a younger guy, but that's not really the case. They're almost the same age. Was it an intentional? See, here's the thing. We don't necessarily know behind the scenes what Slay and CJ's relationship is like. So if everything's equal and they're really good friends and he just was trying to build up Reed, CJ should overlook it. But if they're already having some issues.
But maybe they're not friends. Maybe they're just teammates. So you could be a teammate and not have somebody as a best friend.
Yeah, who was telling us that? Torrey Smith at Radio Row. Saying him and Flacco, great on the field. They didn't hang out.
Yeah, they don't hang out. You come together on the field. So you don't really have to be friendly. I just think that Slay innocently wanted to throw a bone to Reed Blankenship. I think he likes the kid. That doesn't mean he doesn't like CJ Gardner-Johnson, but maybe he looks at CJ because of the stuff that he does sometimes. He poked a guy in the helmet, and got thrown out of a game or whatever, and so that's not leadership, but we like that kind of energy, but I wouldn't put him as the leader of the pack as far as leadership goes. I don't think that's saying anything wrong.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
I think CJ Gardner-Johnson talks a lot, and he's got an edge to him, and I think this is just his personality to be butthurt over something and throw it out there because he's very active on social media. He likes to put his thoughts. He likes to have people know his thoughts.
Yeah, he does. He is very active on social media, and so is Slay. And in addition to what Slay said about the leaders, I think all this was on the facility, right, Ray? This is where all of it was with Acho and LaShawn. I think that's where all this audio came from.
For Slay, the audio?
For Slay.
Slay audio came from his podcast.
I don't know if it did. I think it may have been on the facility this morning because I'm seeing other clips of him, and it's the same. He's wearing the same outfit. Anyway, what I wanted to bring up was, because Acho just tweeted this out, he was also asked, do you want to play for Philly next year? And Slay said if the money is equal and everything's equal, it's Philly for sure. So then that brings up the question, would you bring Slay back on a cheaper deal if he wanted to come back, Mike? Would you bring him back?
Yeah, I would, actually. I would, just for security reasons. I'm not ready to hand it over to anybody else. I'd be more – I don't think Slay is great anymore, but I think he'd be more consistent and you would have more comfort with him rather than the two guys that you would choose, Rodgers or Keely Ringo.
So here's my concern with it. is I understand people who say, well, bring him back. He's a leader. He's a veteran. It allows you to have some depth behind the younger guys. If the Eagles truly feel that Rodgers, or they re-sign Rodgers, or they think Ringo are ready to step up, or even Cooper DeJean moving outside, I don't think you can re-sign Slay because he's not going to play special teams. So can you have a 34-year-old guy who doesn't go on kickoff coverage, doesn't do punt coverage? I don't see how you can keep him on your roster. That would be my concern. Unless you think he can still play and he can still start.
Well, let's look at it. Would you feel better with Slay there than Isaiah Rodgers or Keeley?
This year's version of Slay.
Yeah.
Slay next year, I don't know.
Well,
does he lose a step?
Play one more year.
But does he lose a step?
For one more year?
You don't know. It happens quickly. You know that.
Yeah, it does, but I think he's savvy enough to be to feel I would feel better about a 34-year-old Slay than I would Rodgers or Keeley Ringo. That's me.
See, I've been high on on Keeley Ringo, and I was a little surprised he didn't get more opportunities this past season.
Something missing with him.
He's young.
In Fangio's eyes, there's something missing.
I think it's just because he's so young. He's actually younger than Quinyon Mitchell. He was 21 when they drafted him. So, I don't know. If the Eagles think that Ringo's ready or they re-sign Rodgers, I don't bring back Slay because I just think you need the roster spot for your special teams.
All right. By the way, you saw this news about the college baseball record being broken, a 23-run inning.
Oh, yeah. Who was it that put up 23 runs?
George Mason broke a Division I record against Holy Cross. That's a Division I baseball program. By scoring 23 runs in an inning, a record that stood for 42 years. 28 batters they sent to the plate in the second inning of a 26-6 victory against Holy Cross. Now, George Mason's not a bad program. In fact, my Penn State teammate used to be the head coach there. But like, how do you not have pitchers that can get you out of an inning? Like, they're a Division I team, right? This is the second inning of a game.
23 runs.
How do you not have somebody could come in and put out the fire?
That must have been tough to watch.
Seriously. Like, every guy you put in the game got jacked.
28 batters. Everyone batted 3 times.
It's ridiculous.
Somebody batted 4 times that inning.
George Mason's pretty good. They won 6 straight games. They've outscored their opponents by 89-27 over that span. But the previous Division I record for innings was I got 3 schools. I want you to give me. We're going to play. Give me 3.
Okay.
No, actually, give me 1 for these schools. All right. So the previous Division I record for runs in an inning was 21. It was accomplished 3 times. Valparaiso in 2010.
Oh, I got to give you a player that came out of Valparaiso.
Uh-huh. One is a very successful head coach in college now.
Ray, I'm going to defer to you on this.
And one had a legendary NCAA tournament buzzer beater in an upset.
I got nothing. Absolutely nothing.
You got nothing?
It's going to upset me when I hear it, but I
Valparaiso, Bryce Drew, and Scott Drew.
That's right.
All right. Wichita State.
Train don't leave out of Wichita. People train don't leave out of Wichita.
Don't delay. Don't delay. Don't buy yourself time.
Oh, come on. This
Wichita,
is an easy one.
It is an easy one.
Someone texted me trying to help me with the Drew, but it came in a little late.
Yeah,
We're on a delay, unfortunately. We're on a delay. I got nothing for Wichita.
You got nothing. How about the guy who plays third base for the Phillies?
Oh, that's right. Bohm is a Wichita guy. Oh, that's a big miss on my part.
Plus, they had a number 1 draft pick as a pitcher from Wichita State.
Who?
Tyler, what was his name? Tyler something. He was Tyler Green, maybe it was. Was it Tyler Green? Look it up. He was a right-handed pitcher. He was a first-round draft pick of the Phillies. I think it was Tyler Green.
That would be correct.
There you go. And Pennsylvania. The University of Pennsylvania.
UPenn?
Yes, UPenn. Give me a baseball player and a football player.
I got nothing.
Mark DeRosa.
Yeah, I got nothing.
What? Mark DeRosa from the Major League Baseball Network.
I know. I didn't
Who
realize.
coached the Olympic team.
Didn't realize he was a Penn guy.
He was a Penn quarterback and a baseball player.
Well, the same person that texted me, Drew, texted me Tyler Green and DeRosa.
There you go, Tyler Green.
But we're on delay.
Ah, well,
Doug
it's a shame.
Glanville was the name for Penn that I was
Oh,
debating
that's right,
right
Doug
there.
Glanville.
Oh,
That's right,
Glanville.
Doug Glanville is center fielder for Penn.
That's right, Doug Glanville.
Forgot about Doug, man. That should have been the first guy that came to my head other than DeRosa.
I was at the game. Who was on the mound pitching a no-hitter and Glanville dropped, didn't get to it in center field? I'm trying to remember who that was.
Didn't get
Was
to
that Tyler Green?
He was pretty good. It may have been Tyler Green.
It may have been. This may be a weird connection.
Might be right. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Wednesday, March 5th, the
All right, 141 Mike Missanelli Show. I got a personal thing to say here. I will be signing copies of my children's book on Sunday, this Sunday.
Oh, where?
But well, I'm going to
location
tell you what it is. The people that really know about this, it's a fantastic pop-up sale where you can get everything you need for kids. It's called Just Between Friends. And this organization, Just Between Friends, Eastern Main Line, they do it like a couple times a year. This one will be Saturday and Sunday at Haverford College. So I'll be signing copies of my book, The Adventures of Shima the Sheba, from 2 to 4 p.m. in the Athletic Center at Haverford College. But this pop-up sale, Just Between Friends, you can get everything for your kids, from infant to teen. Sports gear, Philly fan gear, strollers, toys, clothes, shoes, books, games. It's fantastic. I did it a couple years ago, and so many customers come in and can get really reasonably priced kids' gear. So the mission for it is $10, but if you enter the code Mike Miss at checkout, you'll get $5 off.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
wait, this is Sunday though?
It's Sunday.
I thought we were going to the Flyers game, man.
I'm not going to the Flyers game. I'll be signing copies of my books.
Oh, dude, I thought you were fired up.
Anyway, you can get tickets online. This is how you do it online. It's tinyurl.com/JBF Haverford and Mike Miss. And that's how you get your code.
That sounded easy.
Yeah. tinyurl.com/JBF Haverford and Mike Miss. Got that?
Got it now.
You writing that down?
Yeah.
Because this is a good spot for you to go. Get some kids' gear.
I know I should. Hold on.
So if you go... You're a pain in the ass.
I got Flyers tickets on Sunday, though. That's what I got to do.
If you go and you're there between 2 and 4, which is a busy time, I'm told, I'll be signing copies of my book. So it's Haverford College, Sunday, March 5th. Just Between Friends.
Very cool.
All right.
Very cool. A lot going on the show today, too.
Yes, there is. We have a caller on hold, I believe, right? Do we have Greg from Orland? Greg from Orland, are you there?
Can you hear me? Boy?
Hello, Greg. How are you, buddy?
Good. How's it going?
Fantastic. We're so glad to have a phone call.
I just had a quick question. Did the priests for Ash Wednesday, did they start using tar for the forehead or what? This spot on my head is like...
Today is Ash Wednesday, and every Ash Wednesday, of course, I tell the story of the biggest sin, the venial sin, and in the Catholicism of my life was putting ashes on my own head in the church.
You did that?
Not a good thing. You've never heard that story, Bill?
I did not. I'll have to hear it after Greg.
I'll tell the story after this.
I don't think that's a venial sin. So
what is it, a mortal sin? All right.
No.
I thought venial was a small sin.
Okay.
It's like a misdemeanor, the venial sin.
So I want to know the gut on what do you guys think? Are we going to re-sign Bond, or are they going to go with a linebacker in the draft? Because I was reading some stuff about the draft, and there's a couple of guys available.
I don't think they would trust a rookie. They get drafted one last year in Trotter. I don't think they would draft a rookie to replace Bond. I think the fact that it's silent means that they're trying to get it done.
Okay, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, no,
that's one guy I think
do.
we should certainly bring back.
Yeah.
The guy was amazing, and probably a good system for him.
And this morning they had Adam Schefter on, and he made it a point to say they will make Zach Vaughn a priority. He actually corrected Andrew, not may, will make them a priority.
I think it's going to happen. I think they're forced to do it now and overpay for a linebacker because he was just so good for him.
Okay, that's great.
All right,
that's what I want to hear.
General knowledge for you, Greg. American bands, you got to tell me whether they're American or not. All right?
Okay.
Now, if I gave you the band Radiohead, American or not?
American.
Incorrect. Sorry, Greg. Radiohead is not American. Tom York is English.
Great band.
I like the Radiohead.
I'm a creep.
Yeah, well, that's the old Radiohead. They've evolved.
I'm a weirdo.
They've evolved since then.
Still, that's a good song.
It is, but they've gone way past the creep stage. All right, man. Are you guys ready? Ray, you got a little activity in there. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to take me out of here or something.
You
Four
okay
people walking in the studio at once feels like my future's in jeopardy.
You got Austin. You got JB Holmes.
Yeah, you got Mike. Vito.
And Vito. And,
we have three
Techie.
mics between these two rooms.
And that's
a lot of people in there, Ray. You all right? You need help?
I thought I was fine.
I got your back, man.
I don't know why they came in here like that.
All right, Ray. American band or not? Linkin Park.
American.
Correct.
It's a ridiculous question.
It's a ridiculous
Ray,
question.
he's really trying to get you to win. I need this. I need this.
I am not trying to get Ray to win. All right, American or not, Ray? I mean, Bill.
The Beatles, not American.
Jefferson Airplane.
Oh, Jefferson Airplane. I'm going to go with American.
Correct.
Like, stay in the lead.
You stumbled on that one, though.
I had to think for a second.
Well, let's keep playing this game. I like this game. This doesn't count, but I like quizzing you guys about this. Let me get one in Ray's wheelhouse here. We already had Lincoln Park in his wheelhouse. Ray, Alice in Chains, American or not?
Not American.
Incorrect. They're from Seattle, grunge band. Alice in
That's
Chains.
like 90s grunge right there, man.
Me in the 90s, we were tight.
All right.
Never crossed paths.
Bill? The Scorpions, American or not?
American.
Rock me like a hurricane.
American.
Incorrect. They're from Germany.
Really?
Yes, they're a German band.
Wow, I thought for sure that they were American.
Ridiculous.
No.
That's ridiculous.
We should take a point off of him.
I think we should take 3 off.
All right. We can do one more, and then we'll get to our text.
Can we get back to the actresses? That's what I'm good at.
You are pretty good at that. Ray? The Pixies, American or not?
Not.
Incorrect. The Pixies are American.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what the Pixies were until this moment right now.
Me either. What song did they have?
Come on, man. The Pixies are a famous indie band.
What song?
They've been around for a long time. I don't know. You listen to hits. I don't know if they had a hit. They probably had a hit in the rock world.
I know, but for this for purposes of this game, it should be a big band.
They're huge. The Pixies.
Wait, do they play "Where Is My Mind"? Is that them?
I don't know. I don't know what their songs, but they're a famous band. Kim Deal is their lead singer. No, she's not. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, she is.
Oh, good, Kim. Ray, you knew that.
Oh no!
They're an American alternative rock band from Boston.
I was so turned off by their breakup that I just had no interest in them after that. I tried to put them out of my head. Now I remember exactly.
Yeah,
what
so
we're
you
talking
guys
about.
are mocking the Pixies. That's not right. All right, Bill, is it your turn?
Yes.
All right, Billy. Let's go with the Arctic Monkeys. American or not?
I like the Arctic Monkeys.
Arctic.
As I
Not
said.
Arctic. You said Arctic.
No, it's ARCTIC.
It's Arctic.
American.
Incorrect,
Come on,
Bill.
dude. How did you not know that one? Even I knew that one.
Hey, that's in Ray's wheelhouse.
Even I knew that one.
Right. Do we have any texts? Because I like this exercise here.
We do have some texts.
Let's get back to the text board.
People were taking, I guess, interest in the idea of Slay saying, if I'm back. And you guys, I know you guys covered where you guys are on this, but now people wondering if they think that this would be a potential issue to not bring him back if he and CJ actually have problems between one another.
I don't think they have problems with one another. We would have heard that they have problems with one another. I don't think they have problems with each other. That team was pretty tight, man.
I just think CJ has no filter. So he sees it and he immediately tweets it without even thinking, well, this could maybe lead to people talking about it and looking into what I'm saying. I don't think they have a problem. I don't think they have a problem.
I agree. We got anything else?
Father Sean on the text board wants
Sean,
the Ash
Miss Father
Wednesday.
Sean.
Yeah,
the Ash Wednesday story. Father Sean gave me absolution.
For what you
He
did?
wants me to tell the story?
He does. He wants the
all
story
right,
again.
So here it is. So I was heavily involved in athletics in high school, and I had some kind of a practice. And it was Ash Wednesday. My father was a stickler that we would get the ashes. And so I said, okay, I got basketball. I got school. I have practice, and so I think it was like a 6 o'clock practice. I'll go after school. I'll go to the church, and there'll be probably some random priest hanging around, and I'll ask him to ash me. So
is that the correct term? You got ashed?
I don't know if it is or not. So I walk in and it's like, ho, ho, ho. It's like completely vacant. There's no one even in the vicinity of the church. You hear me hearing echoes. And I can hear my own feet walking. So I see, there it is. It was the Golden Bowl.
How old were you?
16.
Oh, you got to know better.
You
can't put your finger in that bowl.
Wait a minute. So I go, I look around, I go, listen, it's the lure. There was the ashes. I go, who's going to know? Like, this is actually the actual ash. Why? I'll give myself a little blessing.
What do you mean, who would know? God would know.
Well, God wouldn't care. God would know that the practice was more important to me than the ash. God's an all-accepting, all-loving God. So I walked up closely to the altar. I'm looking around, I go, I might as well. And I gave myself just a little like design, like an asterisk.
Yeah.
Design.
Did you say the words?
Domini Vobiscum? Dominus Vobiscum?
Yeah, did you say
I think I tried to say something in Latin.
Well, I don't think they say in Latin anymore. Don't they say from ashes from ashes you become, for ashes you shall return, something like that.
You went to Catholic school. You should know it by rote.
I should know all this
I
stuff.
did, and so I go, now, should I have felt guilty about that all these years? I did feel guilty about it. That's why Father Shaw gave me absolution on the air. You didn't think it was that big of a deal.
You didn't go to confession from when you were 16 until you were on the air?
This is what Catholics are taught. Like, if I put my hand in those ashes, I would burn up in a flame. Well, like Catholics, think
Catholic
like that.
guilt is real, man.
Right. So, like, I did it gingerly because I thought the same thing would happen. Like, I would burn up, and I put my finger in the ash and it didn't burn, and I go, all right, I'm good. Now, is that unsightly for you, Bill? Is that
it's a violation?
It's a violation.
It's definitely a violation. But Father Sean absolved you, so who am I to judge?
He did. Father Sean absolved me, and I appreciate it, Father Sean. But we'll get some feedback on that. Hey, on its face, it's a violation, yeah. But compared to, like, what was I going to do? Really? What was my alternative? There, I go home and I get crap from my father because I don't have ashes. Now I had to make the practice. I don't miss a practice. It was a basketball practice, I think.
For a murder rap? That's not bad, Father.
It was a baseball practice.
What movie's that?
It was baseball. That's what it was.
Little Bronx Tale.
Because it was like this time. All right.
16, you should know better.
Everybody, thanks for listening. We really appreciate it.
Who won General
Have a
Knowledge?
Great rest of the day. I don't know.
Zach Towson.
All right, Zach won.
And who won, me or Ray? Actually,
You
Ray
didn't know where Arctic Monkeys
Ray,
were
I
from.
didn't cover, though. I only beat you 4-3. The odds yesterday were 1.5.
We gotta get out of here.
We're out. See you tomorrow.